towards half-back, and they might be able to run away now. They go towards centre wing. Lee gets back with the fly to the footy and takes a diving mark right next to the South Barwon coach's box, and he'll drive the Swans forward. Interesting seeing somebody number 4 other than Cam Tudor. It's Nick Hutchinson for St Joey's as the kick towards half forward is well marked, coming up by O'Dwyer for St Joey's. He concedes some ground, and Bosley was able to knock it away from his opponent in Hesse, and thankfully a free kick given away by Bosley. Kershaw short across the face of his defensive goal. Hesse in the unfamiliar number 1 tucks it under his arm, right back pocket, wants to send it towards the eastern side of the ground, looking out there for a marking option. Spoil from behind might have been by O'Neill, knocking it out of play for South Barwon with a boundary throwing left half forward. Wombat Gully plan fun, just keeping an eye on some of those matchups, Kirsch.
Yeah, I have. Nice one. As we said, the head-to-head, Bosley has Morrison, and the other one of interest is Webb and Dillon, Kershaw, Carmody, and Smith on Noble's a good one.
Davis and Sharp go at it again. Davis front position. Davis got rid of Sharp, then grabbed out of the ruck. Dumped by Sharp in a tackle was a good one. Al Hickey head over the footy, couldn't take it, trying to barge his way through. Looks like it might have been Brand Hines. He couldn't take it, but now he can, and he's got a clearing kick now, and he'll send it towards the outer wing. It's a high ball. Very high ball, goes up to Grant. He can't take the mark. Was he pushed? The umpire said yes, he was. He's going to come back to Peter Grandy on centre wing. Famous and Joseph's name. Goes to the right foot kick. Long towards half forward, chopped off though, and getting back there, Kelly O'Neill for the Swans. Go by hand, go to the outside. And just controlling the ball, South Barwon. They get it back inboard. Hogan off half back with the kick. It's a wobbly kick. Might be okay though. Towards Dillon. Now Madigan wants to get back on the left. He goes with a handball in the end anyway. Over the top. Is that a mark? It is taken. And Dury's taken it at centre wing. Higgins involved early. Couple of kicks, and now a kick inside 50 from Dury's not a great one. Mark taken by O'Dwyer. He wants to bring a broadcast side. Puts it into the path of Hesse. Has to wait for it to bounce, but he's got time to steady. Kick with the outside of the right boot. And found Hutchinson. Hutchinson off by hand to Gow. Gow had his handball deflected. Went back towards him. Put his head over the footy and came again, but couldn't take it away. Hutchinson tried to help him out. Mulroney's in there for South Barwon, diving on it. And then diving on top of it again. For St Joseph's, he's the player that he's going to get pinned for holding the footy. And it might be Gow who's the unlucky one, and it's going to be a free kick.
He's the only one wanting the ball though.
And the free kick belongs to Ollie Lee. Lee's got it. He's about 75 from home. The
pivotal smother then, Kingy, of the handball, because Joey's were away then.
Chris Nichols down boundary side. Lee will just set it up into the pocket. Where's Bosley? Where's Caldo? Both will fly. It's off the back of the pack. Bosley trying to knock it away into the path of a teammate. It'll get knocked into the path of Kershaw for St Joseph's. He's taken to ground by Noble. Ball not coming out. And in the right forward pocket, umpire says, give it to me. I'll toss it into the air. Port Phillip Ferry's time clock at Anzac Day scoreboard. No score, 3.5 minutes gone.
Bit of miscommunication there. Both Joey's defenders flew and neither punched.
Ball up in the right forward pocket. Sharp got it down. Adams. Handball. Kick was smothered. Madigan through the middle. Can't take it though. Quick kick out of the pack. Came from O'Dwyer. And it's off hands. Out of bounds for a throw in. Left half forward for the Swans. No score as yet in the Anzac Day clash this afternoon. Throw in. Davis is going to be up against Sharp. Short boundary throw in. Davis not even going to get there, and he saw it come in short as well. Now the ball spills to Al Hickey, and his handball chopped off. And we'll have another boundary.
No, it's going to be a free kick to Joey's, because the little kick of Hickey actually deflected off the shins of the South Barwon player, and the boundary umpire was all over it and made a really good decision. And it's a free kick, so it was below the knee, and Hickey's got the resultant free kick. He sends it towards the Alan Russell Pavilion side of the ground. It's off hands and out of bounds in front of what is a very healthy crowd on Anzac Day. Big crowd, a lot of players and coaches from opposition clubs taking the opportunity to watch a couple of clubs we expect to be figuring come September.
One of the bigger crowds you'll see on the alternate day.
Davis winning the tap down, front of the pack. Head over the footy is Antonak, or rather Alderton. A quick kick out of the pack, rolls towards the boundary line from Peters. Lee tracks it out of play, boundary throwing just forward of the wing, favouring South Barwon. So a game that really hasn't settled into a groove yet, Kirsch.
No, it's all a rushed kicks, a lot of long kicks down the line at the moment. You see that the couple of switch kicks that they have done have been turnovers, so it's real nervous, feel each other out sort of stuff at the moment.
Boundary throw in, Sharp got to the front and got it down. Gow got a kick away towards centre wing. Higgins over there, right foot kick high, that's out of bounds in the car park. And that's going to be the free kick. It's going to come back.
Absolutely massive crowd down here, boys. Magnificent to see.
Kershaw's going to switch the ball right across the face of goal. Sits okay for Morrison. He runs back to Kershaw. They're just racking up the stats. Riley goes again into the back pocket. And this time finds Harry Smith, who goes over the top. So the St Joey's boys just holding up. Hutchinson comes back. Short kick back to Smith. And he's got Kershaw in the back pocket. He's going to go further afield, though. Come towards close to the best seats in the house, thanks to Atco Cafe 24/7. He couldn't find Reed Adams, and Kershaw wanted him to go to Little Kirsch.
Well, irrelevant of it being Riley. I mean, you take the shorts because that creates some overlap. So by trying to get the hard one in the first place, you have more chance to turn the ball over, which they did.
Ball back into play. Davis and Sharp. Davis won the tap down while Rainey hit it at pace. Couldn't take it cleanly. Chance here for Dylan. Had his kick smothered by Alderton. And it's going to spill for Alderton. He's away if he can get out of the tackle. It's a handball up, and he sold a teammate up the river in Mullen, and he was dumped to ground. Ball spilled out. It's in the middle of Drew Oval. Joey's have got numbers around it. Sharp just reaps a handball forward for St Joseph's. Hogan was there for South. Here's Higgins. Just a neat little kick for the former Bannockburn star in Peters.
So Peters now, centre wing, wants to drive it long on the right boot, inside 50, bit of a mung kick over the head of Caldo, falls towards Hutchinson, who runs towards the footy. Lee was there as well. Caldo actually tackled his teammate as he went for the football. Ball spills free again. Now Hutchinson was at a free kick over the shoulder, it was. And the umpire there saw that. Matt Caldo will come in and have a set shot for goal from about 40 out. Worse than a 45-degree angle, but no breeze here this afternoon. Conditions fantastic at Drew Oval.
Behind this boy, I'm right behind it.
Left-hand goalpost, surely, Nico.
Yeah, and that just float back beautifully. The power fade, isn't it?
That's the power fade. He comes in, Matt Caldo. And a bit stutter step.
It's through.
And Nico has called it early, and it has gone straight through. So Matt Caldo kicks his first, and South Barwon's first. The first of the game, the Anzac Day clash this afternoon, 1 straight 6. They lead St Joey's yet to score. Harvey Norman K-Rock first quarter scoreboard.
She wasn't pretty footy. But
it's a bit of an under-12 game out there before, but they were all chasing the footy, wasn't it?
She wasn't pretty. But sometimes, early there's no... The tempos just go in a hot game. And at the moment, you don't want the ball in hand because you know you're going to get crunched at the minute. So, obviously, we know the game will open up, but it's who can control this tempo the best early that will have the better scoring opportunities.
Umpire to toss it into the air. Davis and Sharp. Sharp may be winning that one. Davis will do the roving whistle. Is gone. Which way is it going? It's coming to Al Hickey off the footy against Madigan. With the resultant free kick, the Joey skipper. Al Hickey called a play on now as he sends it towards the right half forward flank. Sees Ferguson out there, and also a good mark taken by Clohessy, I think that was. A Hamlin hanger contender. He hit the ground running too. Drives it long towards the goal square. Spoil comes from South Barwon at the top of the square and maybe run through for a behind. No, they'll get out of trouble. Todd White was involved, and now the clearing left foot kick towards half back for South Barwon. Flying from behind, trying to mark was Geray, but I think in front, Clohessy will be paid the mark.
Good hands, hasn't he? He's real clean, one grabber.
He was good when we watched him in the opening game too, wasn't he?
He's got good genes.
He has. So he drives it long with the right foot, top of the square, packed there. Goff taps it over the boundary line for a throw in.
I've just got Aiden Grass down here, boys. Very hot start, Grassy.
Yeah, it is. It's a hot footy out there, Nico. That's what you want to expect from a day like this.
That's right, mate. So all the best.
Thanks, Nico.
So Aiden Grass about to come onto the ground. Now full ball from the ruck contest. Alderton had it, lost it, got it back. Now they get it around the corner. Well, Hickey had an open chance too, but falls to the far side and through for one behind. So home side's first score of the afternoon, one behind. They trail South Barwon 1 straight 6. And that's on the Harvey Norman K-Rock first quarter scoreboard.
Higgins to bring the ball back into play, Kirsch.
He just got the belly off it, didn't he? Couldn't get it to swing around.
Higgins driving it long, looking for a marking option. Coming from about 4 deep was Jack Driver. He got nowhere near it, and there's going to be a free kick for too high. Umpires have been hot on that early. The tackles that haven't been on the mark. Might be a turnover coming, though. The kick missed its intended target in Smith, and South Barwon are out here. Kick inside forward 50, might have been Peters. Looking for Bosley. Morrison positioned himself well. Couldn't complete the mark with St Joseph's. Picking it up cleanly, it was Scott. Gave it back to Bosley. Outside of the right boot. Caldo with the flight. Couldn't get to it before it pitched and bounced through for for a minor score, and the margin is 6. So 1-1-7 South Barwon. St Joseph's one behind Bosley with a minor score opening quarter. Thanks to Harvey Norman. Think Harvey Norman for all the big brands at Geelong's best prices.
Really good then, Morrison. Really proactive and got off Bosley and just dropped the mark. And he wouldn't have, he wouldn't have had that scoring opportunity yet. He held the mark.
Luke Webb kicks it in, runs and goes towards half back with the ball. Free kick found for over the shoulder, going to South Barwon, coming back. And it might be Jack Driver with the free kick.
Like a free kick at every instance at the moment.
Right half forward for South Barwon. Goes with a right foot kick inside towards Bosley. Morrison against him again. Big thump away. Hutchinson front and centre was good. His left foot kick back to whence it came. Up towards half back for St Joseph's. Coming through the middle. Handball came from Mulroney. Missed the target. Adams handball on the out. Al Hickey's got it. Half back. Short little kick. They're away now. Joey's. They go through Ferguson. Wants to switch the play out wide. Clohessy kept his width out on centre wing and did nicely. Comes back inboard. Bit of candy. Goes towards centre half forward with the kick. And no mark taken off the back of the pack. They're still there though. They've got the numbers. The handball chopped off though. And South Barwon might be able to get away. Chain of handballs and now a kick into the middle of the ground. But it might come back with interest. And St Joe's have got the numbers. Free kick found. And it's not going to be advantage. So the home side will take a free kick. And it will be James Hickey.
Copped one there, Hickey. Solid contest.
Yeah, Starkey's clearing kick was just a hit and hope for South Barwon. Hickey called a play on. He swings it inside forward 50 now. Spoil came from grass from behind, front of the pack. Higgins lost it in the tackle. Mulroney in there battling for South. Also in there. There's going to be a free kick, I reckon, coming to Taylor Mulroney, the former Koroit star, coming off 31 touches against Lara. Had 11 clearances, which is a fairly handy afternoon in a 98-point win. And, of course, one of those blokes has played in 1,000 premierships down at Koroit. He goes short into left back pocket to Higgins, who went to play on, dumped in the tackle, but he was able to get a little kick away towards Madigan, but he's turned it over. Chance to snap a goal. It might be Ferguson. A high ball that'll float across the face of goal, and it's off hands and out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. So opportunity lost there for St Joseph's, but G. Higgins, he opened the door for Joey's.
So boundary throw in, just looking for the ruckman to come across. Davis is there for South Barwon. Just doing the ruck work for St Joey's. Nobody really. Yeah, so Davis went by himself and then fresh aired it. Madigan got the clearing kick. Off hands, Kershaw at the front. Quick handball by the Swans. They might be able to break free and they go towards centre wing. Bosley a long way from goal. Takes the mark. Now, hasn't got much to kick to. St Joseph's have filled it back nicely. Hutchinson's there. So is Hovey. And he just goes high, very high up the chimney, looking for Caldo, but that's not going to get to him. It's out of bounds on the full. And the home side with the free kick there, one behind. They trail South Barwon 1-1-7. 13 played first term, Port Phillip Ferry's time clock.
Luke Webb, I think we're calling for the first time this afternoon in the unfamiliar number 13. So he had to get he's got his long sleeve 33 underneath his short sleeve 13.
Just like Zach Morrison used to wear the long sleeves, mate, all the time.
He was a number 13. I believe as well. Long ball from Adams towards the left half forward. Looking down there for a marking option to Grandy, brought it to ground. And now a chance to barge his way through, but leaving it behind was that St Joseph's player. Couldn't catch quite who it was, but Driver gives a handball up, a high ball, Hogan, and Hogan has put that out in the full as well. So all of a sudden the width of Drew Oval is very similar to GMHBA Stadium. And with that slight easterly breeze, the ball's just floating out of play, and the ball in the hands of Al Hickey, the skipper of St Joseph's, at true centre wing.
So Hickey goes inside, good kick too. Had some numbers. Reed Adams was in front of Alderton, takes the mark. Between wing and half forward, spears the pass.
It's this next kick they've been struggling with. Their last four entries have been long and high.
Gow is going to go exactly the same. Straight to the top of the square. Packed there. And getting back there, Davis in the last line of defence for the Swans does nicely. They can break free and come towards half-back Lee. Oh, over the back, Hovey couldn't take the mark. Morrison just leaves it for Smith to pick it up. Runs along the boundary line, gets a clearing kick back towards half-forward. Might be okay. And it is. Riley Ferguson takes the mark.
Got to fix this kick up, don't they, Kurt?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're just going to get a hit up.
Ferguson into the left forward pocket, and the handball back inboard was okay for Alderton. Spun out of a tackle, handball back. They'll release Gow. Long bomb from about 45. Won't have the carry, and Higgins will mark it like a rugby union fullback on his chest, sit underneath it, got it off to Hogan. Hogan a handball off to White. White releases a handball on the bounce. Chance now for Scott. He's slunging a tackle for South Barwon, so it impacts the handball, but it didn't get to Ferguson of St Joseph. The Mulroney was able to pick it up, clean up the situation. No work there for Peters as the ball didn't bounce nicely for him, and Gow gave it to Webb, and leading up Alderton, the former Shepparton Swan, has marked about 60 from home.
Plays on now inside the centre square, goes long with the kick. Oh, good mark in front. No umpire says play on, and they can break free again. Driver gives it away to Madigan. He wants to go with a little left foot kick. It's okay as well. They just settle the play down South Barwon at half back, repelling all the attempts at the moment from St Joseph's.
Coming out far too easy, boys, for St Joseph's.
And it's going long now towards Bosley. Morrison's got there as well. He's got a couple of teammates. Goes to Kershaw, wrapped up, dropped the footy. Umpire said yes, he did. And it's going to come back free kick South Barwon, right half forward. 50. Oh, Oscar Morrison just threw the ball back along the ground.
Did he think it was Kershaw's free kick?
Well, maybe, but it's too late now because the ball's going to come down to 25 out.
Just walk back to the centre, boys. That's what you've got to do now.
Ryan Dillon has the ball for South Barwon, and chance for their second of the afternoon with that 50-metre penalty. He's 25 out.
He couldn't have thought it was Riley's ball because he actually started running defensively.
Yeah, to go away from it. Yeah. Yep. So brain fade from Oscar Morrison there. Ryan Dillon, will he make him pay? Right foot kick, he has. So through for his first of the afternoon, second for the Swans. They go to 2-1-13. They lead St Joey's one behind. Harvey Norman, K-Rock. First quarter scoreboard. Thanks to Harvey Norman. Think Harvey Norman for all your big brands at Geelong's best prices. Here's Matt Kershaw.
So he took about time in forward half in footy, and St Joseph's had the majority for the last, I reckon, 3 to 5 minutes of time in forward half, and their last 6 entries have been that high bomb, and it's rebounded every time. It was eventually going to get the Dan Wall's going to break it sort of centre wing, and it did on that occasion. Free kick because of the pressure, and obviously the 50 talks for about itself, but it's going to really lower their eyes going in their forward half of the ground.
Davis climbed high, won the tap down, but the roving done by Hickey, who might have won himself another free kick. Gee, they've been trigger happy with the whistle, the umpires.
I'll say that wasn't a very long 50 either, boys.
Handball off, and the driving kick forward. Looking down there. Oh, gee, they're taken high. Surely a free kick coming for St Joseph's. And it might be going the way of Clohesi, or no, it wasn't Clohesi. It's Louis Antonac. Yep. These numbers have thrown me out this afternoon. So Louis Antonac, who normally wears number 1, has got himself a free kick.
Tough kick too, Kiggy, from there.
Breeze is going to push it away.
The scout hall, long point we don't want to see.
He'll be fine from there.
Well, you reckon?
Yeah.
He'll like a celebration in front of the hill too here, I reckon.
He will.
The wind suits him.
They would need to start at right-hand goal post. And I tell you what, he's kicked
goal.
That's a wonderful finish. A Lammy's Tavern goal of the afternoon contender from Louis Antonac, and that's a good way to get on the board for St Joseph's. They're 1-1-7. South Barwon 2-1-13 as we're 19 minutes gone on the Port Phillip Ferry time clock in this opening quarter of Anzac Day K-Rock football. Hope you're enjoying the call through K-Rock 955, krock.com.au and the AFL Barwon Facebook live stream.
A quick reply, but there was that kick again. Harry Smith's kick was a little bit up and under into the sort of dead pocket, and you know, it's just the free kick that eventuated, but their forward entries still need a little bit of work.
How many times do you reckon he's probably practiced that at training from there? I don't know. Back in the middle, Davis got it down, rose through the middle. The Swans go forward towards Lee, who Morrison's on him. Webb comes back there. Handball was okay on the up. They got it quickly to James Hickey. Goes towards centre wing. No mark taken. Swans under pressure. Took the tackle there, Starkey. On centre wing, we'll have a ball up.
Morrison on to Lee. Bosley must be off having a spell.
Yep. Caldo is deep now as well. So Morrison up the ground a bit further on Lee. Ball up. Davis got it down. Falls towards Ferguson. Gets it out by hand. Goes towards Haints. Towards centre half forward. Over the back to Grandy to run onto it. Straight lines it. Loses the ball in the tackle though. Needs some support. Comes back quickly. Clohesi gets around. His kick was smothered though. Got tackled. Antonac through the through traffic. Did he get one high?
Advantage.
Paid advantage.
Grassy.
So Grass has got the goal. Antonac got the free kick. Advantage was paid.
Yep, round the neck it was.
And that is the second for St Joey's. They go to 2-1-13. And they even up the Anzac Day clash. South Barwon 2-1-13. Harvey Norman K-Rock first quarter scoreboard.
Certainly not saying the free kicks aren't there, but
A lot of high ones.
I don't know whether they're just overzealous. I suppose there's
exuberance.
Exuberance.
I had the cans on answer, so I don't think it was high. It didn't look high from me. I know I'm a long way away, but anyway. Take it when you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was high.
Okay.
Davis tried to grab it out of the ruck. He did, but there's going to be a free kick back in the middle. Non-controlling umpire's seen something off the footy. Which way is he paying it? Umpire Jones has come storming in, and the free kick is going to go to Lockie Noble.
They're going to run out of pee in their whistle.
Noble with the footy, middle of Drew Oval, goes short and finds a marking option, and that's the new recruit James in game number 3. Gives a handball off to a teammate running past, driving it long inside forward 50. Lee from defensive from the fourth in line can't mark, and Webb has taken it. Webb goes short into the left back pocket and finds a marking option, and it's James Hickey. Hickey gives a handball off to Oscar Morrison. Morrison confronted, gives a handball over the top to Smith. It did Smith absolutely no favours. Then he got a little shove in the back from Goff. Umpire said play on, handball out of the pack. Sharp had it cut off. Good work by James. Lee dived on the footy. So did James Hickey for St Joseph's. Then just got a handball out into space. Asked Heinz to run onto it. Heinz did well to extract it from out of the pack. His handball on the bounce is good, and they're away through Mullen.
Mullen goes with a right foot kick. Might be okay. No mark taken though by Hovey. Goes close to the boundary line. South Barwon try and keep it in. Goff it was, but he couldn't do so. Hovey taking a while to get up off the ground.
He got one high then and sandwiched.
Thanks, Nico. So, ball coming back.
And rotations, it's rotation city here, I tell you. On and off.
Luke Webb coming off, we see in front in play. So, boundary throw in. Just into the attack for St Joey's. Davis over the top of it. Adams tried to get the handball out for St Joseph's. Ball still in dispute. Antonak ripped to the ground by a couple of South Barwon players, not going anywhere, and we'll have another ball up. 22 played, first term 2-1-13 apiece. Anzac Day, Drew Oval on K-Rock football.
Port Phillip Ferry's time clock, there's no better way to travel. Umpire tosses it into the air, grabbed out by Davis. He lost it in the tackle, and then Al Hickey threw it on the boot for St Joseph's. A high floater that is going to go out of bounds on the full, and it'll be a free kick in the back pocket in front of the Alan Russell Pavilion. That will go to South Barwon. It'll be in the hands of Todd White. Another product from Koroit. So Koroit pipeline's been pretty good for the GFL over the years. You think back to, obviously, the Dobsons at St Mary's. Sam especially played some wonderful footy. And the kick is straight into the man on the mark. It deflects away into the path of Heinz for St Joseph's. Handball released to his skipper and Hickey. Hickey jams it on the boot. A tumbling punt to the goal square. It's fisted away by the South Barwon defence. Good work there by Goff to see it out of bounds. Boundary throwing in the left forward pocket. Joey's to the cemetery or northern end in this opening term. We're locked away at 2-1-13 apiece.
Koroit have won the 6 flags in a row down there too, Kingy.
They have dominated the Hampton League in recent years. Thank you for that. Nico grabbed out of the ruck by Davis, who throws it on the boot towards centre half back down low. James Hickey couldn't mark, but a chance here for South Barwon. The handball of Jackson Carmody was partially smothered, but was able to put it into the path of a teammate who will now try and soccer off the ground. It's going to fall okay for Caldo. Caldo wants to get a handball release back to that teammate. He had it partially smothered. Now Bosley back to Caldo. Caldo a fit of the fumbles. Handball back. Chance to have a shot here. Might be Scott. He's missed to the right, through from behind. It was Scott doing that work through the middle of the ground, Blake Scott. But he's put that one out on the full. He just couldn't finish his good work off. He did everything right, kept the ball moving forward, but just probably the lack of composure to finish.
All off balance, he looked like on his kick.
So a short little kick, Morrison. Kershaw right in the 10-metre goal square defensively. Plays on. Goes to the outer side. I haven't seen much play out on the eastern side of the ground. Ball, Madigan couldn't take it. Mullen comes across, the 2 number 25s. Comes back, Hickey over the top. And free. Goes well with the handball. Haints goes towards half forward. Missed the target though. And that target was Grass.
Or free out of bounds on the full
in fact,
today.
it was too. Yeah, there was a few of them too. So South Barwon want to swing the ball, come towards Davis at half-back, opposite side, set a task. Sharpie on the way back, tries to beat him to it, and he does. He needs some support to pick it up, though. They can get around, can they? Davis has to stand and wait, and he kicks it out of bounds on the full as well. So, great play, Dylan Sharp, kept the pressure on. And Joey's will take the free kick centre wing.
So Dylan Sharp making the most of the opportunities that have come with, obviously, the departure of Henry Walsh and Tom Zampatti working his way back from a knee injury. It's Gow with the resultant free kick in front of a massive crowd here at Drew Oval. He's right at true centre wing in front of Chris Nichols, who's down boundary side this afternoon. A high ball towards half-forward Hovey, comes with a run. He almost falconed it. Heinz takes it off the front of the pack. He's taken down in a Mulroney tackle, and we'll get a ball up left half-forward for St Joseph's. 2-1, 13 apiece, opening quarter, thanks to Harvey Norman. Think Harvey Norman for all the big brands at Geelong's best prices. Cryo and Warren Ponds Furniture, electrical, bedding, you name it, they've got it.
So Sharp gets it down from the ruck contest. Mulroney, though, clearing kick for South Barwon to the middle. Hutchinson, Lee, fell on the cricket pitch area too. Lee gets back up, though, and might have some support. They can break free, too, and go. Durea through the middle for South Barwon. Bosley at the back. Work Morrison under the football. Runs in, 20 out, and kicks the goal. His first of the afternoon, and break the deadlock. South Barwon 3-1-19. St Joey's 2-1-13. Harvey Norman, K-Rock, first quarter scoreboard.
That's the difference with quick ball movement through that corridor. Getting into a one-on-one quickly. The kicks by St Joseph's have been to long bombs, congested forward line. Get a one-on-one with your key forward, and particularly when you've got the advantage out the back, it's very hard to beat.
Around the grounds for Leopold Sporties, your complete family venue. Inverleigh 6-5-41 lead. Bannockburn 2-3-15. No score, unfortunately, from Port-Arlington and Drysdale. But we'll keep you up to date throughout the afternoon. It's Madigan sending South Barwon forward from that ball up, looking for Caldo. Taking a good, strong mark. Grasping it nicely in the hands in front of O'Dwyer. Hamlin Hanger contender from the Swan skipper. Quick release out of the middle, Madigan's kick to advantage, and Caldo, the former grubber, one of the more inexperienced captains, shared the role with Darcy Hanson, but still only playing this afternoon, game 30 of his career. He'll kick a goal, a chance for his second. He's just tugged it to the left, I reckon, and he has just snuck it in from behind, through for a minor score, and the margin is 7. So 3-2-20 South Barwon, St Joseph's 2-1-13. First quarter, thanks to Harvey Norman. Think Harvey Norman for all the big brands at Geelong's best prices. Princess Highway, Crow and Warren Ponds.
So Luke Webb, footy in hand at full back for the home side. Goes short with the kick. Ferguson takes the mark. Plays on now. He goes further afield. Oh, well chopped off too. And that was Siddle who came across and pushed it out of bounds for South Barwon, so we'll have a boundary throw in. Swans still into attack, 55 around from their goal. So good defensive play by the Swans forwards there. Sharp, Davis. Davis from behind trying to take it out of the ruck again. Joey's trying to break free. Gow was in the middle.
He's miles away.
The umpire was behind the controlling umpire by about 50 metres and picked a free kick to Gow, which I think was there because he was high. So Kershaw, half back to centre wing. Good
That's
kick.
the second time he's done that umpire.
Heinz
Miles away.
has the ball on centre wing for Joey's.
But if he gets it right, we don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, correct.
Heinz stretching was sharp. Got a handball off to Ferguson. Ferguson on his non-preferred right inside forward 50 numbers with South Barwon. White was involved. O'Neill received a handball from Davis. He gave it off to Higgins. Higgins comes wide looking for Ollie Lee. Ball will bounce in front of him, and Hutchinson pitches and spins away from Ollie Lee, and it's out of bounds. Boundary throwing just forward of the wing on the western side of the ground, the Walker Oval side of the ground, the old St Peter's ground for the old timers. 20 playing 13, South Barwon by 7. Shallow throw in, tapped down by Sharp, roving by Heinz. He's set upon in a two-man tackle, but was able to release a handball to Adams, who turned it back over to Davis. Kick partially smothered. Scott gives it off to James. James a handball released to Bosley, confronted by Morrison, but he got a left foot kick on the footy. But back with the flight, taking the mark is O'Dwyer, the Yarrawonga product for St Joseph's, about 25 from his defensive goal.
Short kick, straight into the best seats in the house, thanks to APCO Cafe 24/7. Riley Kershaw, it's about to touch his old man as he runs past. He's that close.
High five.
High five. He wants to go long down the line, calling for De Grandy to go there. He goes with him and Sharp. They go up, big pack off the side. Jake Peters can't keep it in for the Swans. We'll have another boundary throw in.
I know it's hard to compare players to previous stars, but there's a bit of Reece Holgren in the way De Grandy moves. Is that a fair call?
Yep, it is. But he's got some big shoes to fill if he's going to be a Reece Holgren type. But he's developing. He's developing forward.
From the contest, Alderton got it away to Hickey. and go towards half forward with the ball. Here he is. You just heard us talk about him. De Grande gives it now to Adams. Goes towards full forward. No mark taken. Off the pack. Ovey was there. Tried to work it out. Alderton's there as well. Swans working hard across half back. They do pretty well. In fact, Goff gets it away, and they come towards half forward with the kick punched away. They've got the numbers of Swans if it sits, and they do now. They go short towards Caldo. Good punch away at the back by O'Dwyer that's kicking in danger. The umpire said no, it wasn't. The kick then was kicked. Jake Peters went with a left foot kick, and now Hutchison to control play for the Joeys.
Onto the chest. He finds a marking option. Coming up and taking it is McComb.
Good then, Hutchison. Desperate.
And O'Dwyer's smother.
Yeah, smother was
incidental smother. And that is quarter time. An entertaining opening term.
If the defender put his arm on me to use, he
wouldn't be standing up.
He would have broken it.
Must play cricket against each other.
Yeah, that's right. So start of the second term, Davis got it down, but Hates got it out straight towards De Grande, who can't take it. Off the side of the pack, Swans under pressure to start with, or handball. Spilt free to De Grande, and he squeezes the ball through for one behind. In the end, it was a pretty rushed kick from the big fella, so one behind. Start the second term 2-2-14. St Joey's, South Barwon 3-2-20.
Good to have Archbishop Desmond with us this afternoon. So kicking duties belonging.
Archbishop hasn't failed every game, I reckon. We've seen him every game.
White driving it towards half back to a one-on-one contest, although it became a two-on-one because Hickey got across the front of Driver to knock it away and out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. So left half forward, make it right half forward, in fact, for St Joseph's, left half back for South Barwon. We'll get a boundary thrown in beautiful sunshine on Anzac Day 2022. Boundary thrown. It's a shallow one again. Davis will get there first and win the tap down. Sharp will look to do the roving, although the ball might beat him out of play. It was extracted out of there quickly by, might have been Scott, who was able to jam it on the boot towards the wing. Numbers with St Joseph's though, but it's going to be turned over, and there a chance here to get the kick away through Carmody. Carmody's kick to the middle of the ground is okay and finds a teammate in Geray. Geray swings onto his left boot, sends it to Bosley on the lead, couldn't complete the mark. Ball hits the deck. Mulroney was there, he went through and left it behind, but then he went back and got it. Got a handball up, chance for Oscar Morrison, lost it in the Bosley tackle. Ball just bobbling around now. Morrison fires a handball out, and then Webb just threw it on the boot really quickly for St Joseph's towards left half back. Plenty of numbers there for Joey's. If they can get the footy away, they'll be able to take it away through Ferguson, but Madigan fought hard. Here's Clohessy jamming it on the boot, and he bounces it forward.
He goes towards De Grande, who comes out and meets it. Mullins there as well. Antonak went the don't argue, lost the footy. Probably should have lost the free kick as well, but didn't do so. Mulroney, spin turn, gives it away by hand, and they're on centre wing. Geray gets it for South Barwon towards half forward. Pretty wide out there again. Yeah, that's another one out of bounds on the full. And
Kirsch, that backwards handball there, it's not on, mate.
Well,
it's simply not.
The one about Antonak you were talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a bit of feedback if he hit it.
Kershaw with the kick towards De Grande, gets a high tackle, I think, a push, and will take the free kick.
Yeah, Driver went a little bit early, I think.
He did. So he's on centre wing, goes towards Ferguson at half forward, wants to play on quickly, drive it inside 50 with a kick towards Hovey, who comes out, can't take the mark off the back of the pack. Higgins has to be good here. Oh, his handball was terrible in the end. Ball spills free. Swans under pressure, might get out of trouble. Handball came quickly from James, and they relieve the pressure only as far as De Grande. He can't take the mark. Still at half forward for St Joey's, and free kick found, high tackle, I think. South Barwon will take it. It's going to be Geray.
Murray River product, I think Albury or thereabouts. To James. James a handball off to Madigan, cruising past, and the Torquay youngster sends it very, very wide. Bosley will take it on the first bounce. He'll then bring the kick inboard to about 25 from goal. He mishit the kick though, had too much carry on it. It's a chance to Joey's to clean up. Gow to Webb. Handball off. They look to attack now. Antonak with a bounce. Took on the man coming towards him. Tucked it under the arm. Then ran his full measure and drove it long, but only drove it onto the chest of Driver. And Driver in the right back pocket can repel for the Swans.
Goes out wide. Finds Geray. Again, we'll try and drive it from centre wing. Just getting stuck at half forward, Kirsch, aren't they?
Yeah, ball use going inside their forward 50 is pretty ordinary at the minute.
So the ball spills free at the back. Oh, a little toe poke. Tried to come. Smith goes with the torpedo barrel punt towards De Grande, who should have taken the mark and give it away, though, to Ferguson by hand. He handballs it over his head, out of bounds straight away. The umpire says, throw it in.
It's between the arcs at the moment, isn't it, boys?
It is.
Big difference is, Jace, that I don't reckon that St Joseph's are taking the mark inside their forward 50. So, they need some of their bigs to really stand up and take some marks. Hovey, Grassy, DeGrandy.
Need Hovey in the game.
Sharp got a push from Davis. Ball spills towards Gow. Duray runs past as well. So does Clohessy. Can't pick it up. Mulroney on hands and knees. Gets wrapped up. Ball spills free. Quick kick came out, and that was from Noble towards centre wing. Webb tracks it, does nicely on centre wing, gives the handball out. Alderton to run onto it. He just kicks it off the ground in the end. Higgins stands in the way. His handball repel, and they go now through Blake Scott.
Scott's kick will bounce just inside the field of play in front of the St Joseph's interchange bench and out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Nearly 5 minutes ticked over in this second quarter for Port Phillip Ferries. Fair to say the action just lacking a hint of quality at the moment.
It's just cleanliness, isn't it, really?
Yeah, the precision lacking for both clubs. Shallow boundary thrown. Davis grabbed it, and then he was grabbed by Sharp. He got a handball away only as far as Adams, who was dumped in a two-man by Starkey and Noble. Sounds like my law firm. And I reckon Adams is a bit sore for St John of God. Keep an eye on that Rock Dog. St John of God, your emergency specialist. Adams has got up wanting the footy.
He was sandwiched, mate.
He's a little bit...
Big collision, actually.
Yeah, he's a little bit shaken.
Correct.
I suspect the St Joseph's medical team, Dr Joe Vigona and Andy Cramp, will be keeping a close eye on that. Driver, a big fly, couldn't complete the mark for South Barwon. It's off the hands of the pack. Trying to take it was Gow, leaving it behind for Alderton, though. Alderton outside of the right. Boot. Back with the flight. No mark. Callagher. Starkey, or was it White? White, a handball. Indiscriminate. Only as far as Mullen. Mullen missed his target. Geez, a lot of targets being missed.
Wow.
Scott got his handball out wide trying to find a teammate. Couldn't find O'Dwyer, so St Joseph's back inside 50. DeGrandy couldn't mark. Ball out the back, cleaned up by Goff. Handball on the bounce will be taken by Peters, you would suspect. Once he's just had a couple of taps to himself. And that opened the door for Heinz to go bang with a big tackle and take him out of bounds. And we'll get a boundary throw. In fact, a free kick holding the footy. So Heinz short. Kick was called to Ferguson. Callagher, good pick up on the half volley. Gave a handball up. Alderton into the pocket. McComb, 45 from goal. Goal square. Gow, best position. Oh, well done, Hogan coming across defensive. Mick Schultz style double fister to knock it through for a behind. And the margin is 5. 2-3-15 St Joseph's, South Barwon 3-2-20, and the Swans now lead by 29, 14-13-97. Hawthorn 10-8-68 on the Leopold Sporties around the ground scoreboard.
Swans kick it back in. Sharp. Oh, he's going to go for the punch. He should have taken the mark at the end. He couldn't do so. Mulroney picks it up. Handball to the call. They get it back. Noble, slick handball to Peters. His handball to Higgins, close to half back. Chips the ball, that's better. Taking the mark was Dillon. Have it on the outside. Running through there was James. Goes towards half forward. No mark taken. Bosley handballed it back towards Caldo. He can't take it as well. Repped in the tackle. And the umpire will come in and ball it up. Left half forward, the Swans in front of the Alan Russell Pavilion here at Drew Oval. Sharp and Davis. Ruck work. Davis gets it down. Madigan through the middle on the non-preferred right foot. Tried to back it up again. His kick was smothered. Ferguson tried to ride the tackle. Wrapped up. And the umpire will come in and ball it up. 3-2-20, South Barwon. St Joey's 2-3-15, 7, nearly 8 minutes played in this second term Port Phillip Ferries time clock.
I know it hasn't been clean. There's been a lot of missed handballs, but I tell you what, there's a lot of heat out there. The ball was hot.
Davis won the tap. Kick up went up the chimney from Ferguson. Did it go 15? Umpire said it did, and it's taken by O'Dwyer of South Barwon. He drives a kick, top of the square, went through the hands of Caldo. Duray or Lee out the back. Caldo will lay a tackle. Ball spilled free. James Hickey, Gow, handball release. Smith back to James Hickey. Hickey will drive it long to a one-on-one. DeGrandy, best position, took the mark. Oh, Gow's all alone by himself. Back in the goal square. DeGrandy just needs to get it to him on the bounce. He'll sit and wait for it. Turn and goal. And drilled it straight into the goal umpire. And Joey's hit the lead for the first time this afternoon. I think Higgins had come up off Hovey to influence the play. Or it might have been Goff. In fact, it was Goff that had come off. And it left all alone. Josh Hovey going, thank you very much. And de Grande's kick just had to get over the outstretched hands of Goffert did. And he turned and kicked the goal, the veteran.
It's what South Barwon have been doing very well, coming off their opponent and helping their other defender defend. And what they did then was rolled up and rolled up and rolled up. The ball movement out of the back half by St Joseph's, that's the difference. If you hit a couple of handballs and you hit a couple of kicks coming through the corridor, it's hard to beat. Even one-on-one, they're still trying to defend and you get them caught out the back.
Davis sharp go up in the middle. Davis' second effort was good. Got the kick to centre half forward. Off the side of the pack though, Luke Webb, short little kick around the corner. Hickey had to try and meet it. Couldn't do so. Webb tried to come back and help out. Ball spills free. Still across half forward for the Swans. And Webb, third effort, does well. Gets in the tackle and wrapped up, not going anywhere.
Missed kick.
Boys, I've just got Louis Interneck down here. It's pretty hot out there, Louis.
Yeah, it's very warm, very slippery footy. It's hard to grab onto. It's a very hot footy too.
You've got to be a bit cleaner, that's all.
Yeah. We've been cleaner, kind of, around the stoppage, but I think just our composure with the footy in the end. It's just
Thanks, mate.
So the ball from Mullen now to Adams in the middle of Drew Oval. Gets it back to Clohessy. Then they off a step wide. Might be okay. Callagher should have taken the mark. Didn't.
Oh, wow.
Now under pressure. Went left, went right. Short little kick around the corner. Turned it over. Higgins goes the other way for the Swans.
His kick on the bounce. Didn't get to James on the full, but James will win himself a free kick. It was a lazy kick, but James was able to win himself a free kick. He gives a handball off to Madigan, sweeping by on his left boot. He bangs it very, very wide, looking for a marking target. It'll elude Siddle, and he tried to knock it away from Harry Smith. Smith was good, though. Diesel's boy just steadied himself and then kicked it towards half-back, and it's a well-weighted kick to Heinz. They played it well there, the Joey's defence. Harry Smith standing tall. Heinz to centre half-back with the kick for Adams. Reed Adams, two-time premiership player. He goes wide to the skipper in Hickey. Hickey just directing traffic. Man on the mark is James. Hickey wants the cricket wicket area and he's found Alderton. He just had a little fumble, but he took the mark.
He goes short. Might be okay to Antonak. 55 out. He's got Hovey on his outside. He's got McComb as well. He looks further, though. He's going to go. Oh, what's he going to go? Take him on. Oh, the handball missed the target. Madigan there for the Swans across 50. Trying to draw a couple of players. The ball comes to O'Dwyer. Left foot kick around the corner. Alderton gets in front. Does nicely. Good little play there, but Starkey was at the back. Needs some support. Antonak, did he get push in the back? Umpire said play on. Hovey comes in. Went the player instead of the ball. Then he went the player. And it will be out of bounds. It must be. Nico's nearly got a possession. It's that wide, and it will be a boundary. Well, be ball up. In fact,
He's balling it up.
Balling it up.
Players don't know. They think it's a throw-in.
Well, it was that close to the boundary. It was on the fence.
Look, he's had to wait for the ruckman to come over.
We're coming for the boundary throw-in, so it'll be a ball up.
I reckon it'll probably go out of bounds from the
could do,
It's
mate.
that close.
Davis, Hovey, ball hits the ground. Mulraney, wrapped up, slung by Alden. That should be a free kick for holding the man up. I said no, and he's now out of bounds. Around the grounds for Leopold Sporty Sydney have done a number on Hawthorn in the end. Won by 41, 16-13, 109. Hawthorn 10-8, 68. They've stormed home, the Swans. And they are sitting very pretty in the top half of the AFL ladder. Ball back into play. Gow winning the tap down. Mulraney came through, left it behind. Heinz didn't for St Joseph's. He was slung in the tackle. Hickey dived on the footy. He couldn't take it away. And it's going to be a free kick. Another high free kick. Not the first this afternoon. There's been plenty of them. They've been hot on that. And the free kick will belong to Heinz. Now called to play on, so kicks over the outstretched arms of Noble and just sits it up, and that's going to sit. Oh, there's going to be a free kick off the footy for a Shepherd, and it's going to go to St Joseph's. Okay. And the man going to ground was McComb, and the umpire says he was taken off the footy.
Totally, he was. He was getting it nowhere near that, actually. Panic.
We just discussed it before, how they roll off each other's opponent, a bit Tom Stewart-like, and they look after each other. It was a little bit overzealous in looking after each other with that defensive ball coming in.
Kicked a goal on debut against North Shore, Finn McComb. Chance to add to that and to add to St Joseph's lead. To turn a 1-point advantage into a 7-point lead, and he does the business. So that'll be a goal he'll remember. He's first on Anzac Day. Joey's have got 4. And they now lead by 7. They're 4-3-27. South Barwon are 3-2-20. 13 and a quarter minutes gone in this second quarter of K-Rock football. Thanks to APCO. APCO Cafe 24/7. We've got you.
There's only 8 behind the leader. For Anzac Day goals.
Kirsch,
Yes,
just down here, Doyle Madigan's getting his right calf looked at.
He's been probably one of the better players for South Barwon on the grand today at the moment.
He's not happy, I can tell you that. So he might have a look if he gets iced up.
Thanks, Nico, for St John of God, your injury emergency specialist, 24/7. Now the ball comes back to Webb from the middle, goes towards half forward again. McComb tapped it on, goes back towards Grass, who gets wrapped up, tried to get the handball free, needed somebody to come past. Gow got there but missed the ball. Now McComb again, left handball. Kick around the corner. Swans get back there, and they're happy to see it through in the end. Goff got a hand to it and put it through for one behind to the home side. Short little kick in. Came into Mulroney, and he will try and clear it for the Swans.
The two Koroit products linking up.
Lucky Noble wanted to come off then, and they sent him away from the bench, actually. So they told him to go forward.
Dylan goes wide. That's a good stretch and mark from the skipper, Caldo. They just need to settle here, the Swans. Kicks towards right half forward. Bosley out on a searching lead. Marks on his chest. Maybe a little bit too far from home. So he turns and gets back off his mark quickly.
The wind would suit him here. The wind would suit him.
So it will be blowing over his right shoulder towards the Alan Russell Pavilion. He'll kick from right half forward. He's not going to have a shot. He's just going to set it up to the top of the square, and a fly at the back from Driver, and he's been paid the mark. Siddle went early.
Yeah, over the top of his opponent.
But Driver is the man who's got it, and he will have a shot at goal from
Wonderful
about
kick.
20 metres out,
Great
directly in front. Good grab by Driver. He never took his eyes off the footy, despite Siddle flying in front of him, running some sort of interference.
Two free players there, Kirsch.
Yeah, can't let him run at the line.
No way. It was a clever kick. Beautiful kick.
Not a noted goal kicker, Jack Driver, just the 13 goals from 50 previous appearances at senior level for the Swans, and he needs to kick this, and he does. So he pulls the margin back to 2. Just as St Joey's were getting on top in this contest, South have found one, and it's been their leaders who have stood up. Caldo a good mark, Bosley a good bit of play, Driver goes forward, takes a nice mark, and the margin is back to 2. It's South Barwon 4-2-26. They trail St Joseph's 4-4-28, and this second quarter, Port Phillip Ferry's time clock ticking towards 16 minutes. There's no better way to travel.
They went coast to coast then too, Jace, from the kick in.
Yep.
Free kick in that middle of the ground, and then when they worked their way forward. Joey's got on top around the stoppages at the moment, around the clearances, but actual general field play, South Barwon are using the ball a lot better at the minute.
So back to the middle for Davis, who gets it down nicely, and roving beautifully was James. Goes towards half forward with the kick, punched away from behind by Morrison, up against Bosley. Webb tracks it towards the boundary line, sees it over. It's boundary throwing right half forward, Swans into attack.
I've just got Josh O'Dwyer here. O'Dwyer, boys. Needed that quick goal, mate.
What's that, mate?
You needed that goal.
Yeah, we did.
Good. Think you just got to be a bit cleaner with your disposal?
Yeah, I think so.
Good man. Thanks for your time.
So the ball back in, handball, comes to the Swans. They tracked it from the ruck contest. Dylan got wrapped up though. Sharp went into the back. The umpire said play on. Umpire's going to come in and ball it up. So right in front of the scoreboard, St Joey's 4-3-27. Lead the Swans 4-2-26. We've played 17 in this second term, Port Phillip Ferry's time clock.
Is that scoreboard right? Is it 2 points of difference or 1?
No, it is 4-4 to 4-2.
Yeah,
so you're right.
The scoreboard is out by 1. And it's going to be a free kick in the ruck contest. It's going against Sharp to Sticks Davis. Man on the mark will stand around 45 from goal. It's hard to get. We're not overly elevated here, so we're sort of depth perception. We're having a guess.
He's right on the 50.
He's
the arc.
50, yep.
And I don't think Raymond Hadley's doing the scoreboard. We know to be correct then.
The great Raymondo. Davis, he'll just set it up into the right forward pocket. None marked. The mark is taken. And it's taken by Mulroney. And he will have a shot at goal to get the lead back for the Swans. So we down to you, Nico.
Well, just quickly saying, it just fell down a touch there in the defence. I'm sure Kirsch was going to say the same thing.
It's a midfielder. So midfielder just got into that 50 arc, and Alex Hickey was half minding him, half not minding him, yeah. His opponent. But can't allow a midfielder just to sit inside the forward 50 unattended.
Taylor Mulroney coming off 31 touches against Lara, and a chance to kick a goal here. He sets it up, and he has given it plenty of air, and he's just snuck it in for a behind, and they cut the margin back to a point.
So at the Telstra Dome.
Missed opportunity there. South Barwon 4-3-27. St Joseph's, the scoreboard at the ground says 4-3-27, but they are 4-4-28 in this second quarter that's gone 8.5 minutes on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock.
So Webb kicks it into Morrison along the boundary. Along the boundary and out of bounds on the full. Riley Kershaw was just about ready to pour a pot. He was that close into the Alan Russell Pavilion when he tried to take that mark. So Swans,
that was a lazy kick.
Yeah, going back now with the kick high towards the top of the square. Bosley goes up, can't take the mark. Clohessie's there, handball over the top to nobody in particular. Swans with the numbers, they track it back. Hickey sees it over the line for a throw in, left forward pocket for the Swans.
It was a 7th out of bounds on the full, Jason, today.
Jeez.
Occurs high. That's an interesting stat you're keeping there.
Well, it didn't start off to be a stat, Kingy, but it's
become one.
You are Snake Pearson, mate, that's for sure.
He is. So the ball, Davis got it down to the back. James roved it nicely. Off hands, kick around the corner. High kick. Not going to make the distance, in fact, and Morrison sees it over the boundary line for a throw in. Right forward pocket for the Swans.
Out the full.
Half-time around the grounds for Leopold Sporties. Drysdale 12-7-79, lead Port Arlington 3-2-20.
Oh, good to see the Demons on the board. They've struggled to kick goals this year. Balls hit the ground from the ruck contest. Ferguson was dumped. Umpire will come in and say that was a dangerous tackle. His arms were pinned and he didn't have the footy either. And Riley Ferguson with the footy. Short into the left-back pocket. I think it's James Hickey, umpire obscuring my view. He goes short, and Clohessy, who's been busy this afternoon, but it's going to come back. It was out in the full, in fact, the kick to Clohessy. So 8. Siddle will take the resultant free kick.
Thanks to Kerrs Hire, 8.
And this distance won't trouble James Siddle if he wanted to have a shot, but he's not going to. Disciplined kick. Although, had some good carry off the hands of Lee. Quick snap. Noble, wonderful bit of roving. Lammy's Tavern goal of the afternoon belongs to Lockie Noble. That's a wonderful piece of roving. Thought the kick was too long and would give nobody an opportunity other than the St Joseph's defence to kill the contest, maybe knock it through from behind. But it was brought forward by Bosley, and Noble was able at the front of the pack to get it cleanly off and onto the boot. He snapped it through for a wonderful goal to give the Swans back the lead. They're 5-3-33. St Joseph's 4-4-28. Second quarter, Abco Cafe 24/7 scoreboard.
Coming a really dangerous kick, that kick from South Barwon. They're very selfless with that kick to the top of the square or to a dangerous position, and it's like a training drill. They know what they're doing.
And no long points.
No long points, Jace.
Kingy said
That's
it
the
right.
difference in footy. Tell me it's not.
Discipline.
So back in the middle, Sharp got it down. Adams ducks out of traffic, gets on that favoured left boot, goes inside 50. Pack develops off the back. Swans get back there first. Higgins does nicely. Right foot kick out wide. Defensively, nearly a good mark taken by Starkey. He couldn't handle it though. Pack develops. The umpire will give him plenty of time to try and get rid of it too.
Bit harsh.
It was very harsh.
Set upon as soon as he gained possession.
It was, and Adams will take the free kick left half forward for the home side.
Very stiff free kick.
Goes short with a kick. Alderton got a hand to it. It wasn't really designed for him. Now White handball back only as far as Alderton. He dropped the footy. And Swans will take the free kick. Defensive 50. And the free kick's going to go to Sam James.
Madigan's back out there, but I don't think he's moving very freely, boys.
For St John of God, keep an eye on that. Thanks, Nico. James goes wide. He's turned it over. That's a poor kick, and coming across and cutting it off is Kelleher. Outer wing with the footy. He'll kick now towards centre half forward. Mullen was his marking target. He couldn't mark, but he found it on the ground and then he banged it forward, but Driver diving low. Took a good mark. That's a hammer-on-the-hanger contender from Driver. That's a tough one to take when they're tumbling in like that low, but he got down low, clutched it to his chest and averted any crisis for the Swans. He'll look to come broadcast side. Best seats in the house at Co Cafe 24/7. Kicked too much on it for Goff and Brother Hogan, and it's off his hands and out of bounds for a boundary thrown. Goff and Hogan both rolling with the headband arrangement this afternoon, along with Doyle Madigan, who's got he's had the crimper out on his hair. It's gone back to 1987. And the boundary umpire's just coming a couple of metres from the line, just outside 50, right half forward for St Joseph. Sharp from behind won the tap down, and he looked to fist it off the ground, but the other way it was blocked from coming out of there. Might have been Mulroney on hands and knees, and he's going to get a free kick for too high. It's our O'Neill, in fact, Kelly O'Neill. A handball up to Davis, who's right next to him. And then he gave a handball to James, who's run himself into trouble. Umpire's gone down. O'Neill's given a handball to Madigan. This is comedy capers at the moment. Just held back the handball for Higgins. Higgins stepped past Adams and now kicks towards half forward, looking for a marking target and finds one. Chance now to swing onto the right boot. Long ball coming from Carmody towards the goal square. Back with the flight, Harry Smith for St Joseph's. Could mark. Oscar Morrison was clean. His handball release good for Webb, and Webb can set up for Joey's.
He goes into the middle. Mullen, unattended, wants to wheel and go. Right in the middle of Drew Oval, goes long. Hovey on a lead. Goff next to him, can't take the mark. Off the back. Swans. James gets back there to help out. His handball, 30 metres to Madigan. His handball into Mulroney, and the midfielders go nicely. He kicks though. Poor in the end, and Hickey just stands there, takes the mark. James Hickey goes out wide. Oh, Gow couldn't take the mark. 2-on-1 the Swans. They couldn't make them pay though. They've got the numbers, but they still lose the ball. Grass gives it away to Mullen by hand. He goes backwards. He's missed the target as well. Needs some support. Grass comes back to help out. Does so nicely. Webb goes out wide with the kick. Clohessy will it sit for him. Bears down close to the boundary line. Good tackle came from Duray, and the umpire says throw it in. Both Clohessy and the ball out.
You know they're struggling when Luke Webb's not hitting a target.
Decision-making v ball use at the moment is on par.
Not very good.
Not very good at the minute.
So we've got a boundary throwing just forward of the wing broadcast side. St Joseph's defending, tapped down by Sharp. Chance for a handball release. Might have been Siddle getting it back to Higgins, who went to ground, wrapped up by Adams. He got a handball on the bounce to Duray. Boundary line too close. Plenty of crowd crammed between Walker and Drew Ovals. Drew being the ground we're playing on. Walker hosting a women's game as we speak. And we'll have another boundary throw in as we approach. Well, tick past, actually, 25 minutes gone on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock.
So boundary throw in centre wing. Sharp, Davis. So they've done most of the afternoon. Ball, James at the back did nicely. Goes with a kick long, looking, the Webb gets back there in front. He might not be hitting targets with the kicks, but he can take the marks. He goes short this time, finds Kelleher at centre half back. He was thinking short to Adams, but he goes laterally, and Smith takes the mark, goes out wide. Kershaw's got it. Chips the ball over the top. And asked Hickey to run for him. He did. He got it. And they go short again. Run free. Adams from centre wing goes towards Hovey. Goff pushed him out of the way. At the back, Driver wrapped up. Hovey put the tackle on. Great play. Ball. Hang on a minute. Is he the controlling umpire there?
No, he's not.
No,
he wasn't. He's done that 3 or 4 times.
Holding the man. Driver's going to... Well, that should have been 50 because the ball didn't come back to Jack Driver on the full. But anyway, he's going to give it away by hand to Higgins.
Higgins, right back pocket, goes very wide, and Hogan will mark on his chest at right half back. Beautiful sunny afternoon. And as we see the days getting shorter and we tick towards winter. High ball will flirt with the boundary line. Caldo flew, got nowhere near it, but out the back there's numbers, including Scott for South Barwon. Handball released to Duray, gave it back to Scott. Scott with a bounce, wants to take on the player, ran his full measure, outside of the right boot, kicks the goal of the year.
Goal of the year?
That's a wonderful finish from Scott. He started it at right half forward. He shared it by hand and received it back from Duray, and then he bananaed it through beautifully and kicked one of the best so far in 2022.
It's inspirational, Kingy. That's what that is.
It's a wonderful finish. A Lammy's Tavern goal of the afternoon, and very tough to top for what we've seen so far in 2022, and it gives his team an 11-point lead. They're 6-3-39. St Joseph's 4-4-28. Lammy's Tavern open Friday to Sunday at 9 p.m. with free entry before 10 every night.
Summed it up well, Kingy. Work rate there was the absolute... He's left everyone in their wake. His direct opponent was still flat-footed at the original stoppage. Fantastic work.
And he's kicked it into the cemetery, and just like all good goal kickers seems to be, he's off and straight off the ground.
That's what you do.
So they're waiting for it to come back. They've got it back from the cemetery. Just over the back there is where all the dirt is that they use to... fill up the grave, actually.
To fill in the plot.
Yeah, the plot. So that's where it got stuck, and that's where the boys got it out of.
Beautiful special comments by Chris the Rock Dog Nichols down there on boundary. Back to the middle. Late stages this second term. Davis gets it down, handball, shuffled to James, goes with the right foot kick long towards centre half forward for South Barwon. Off the side of the pack, Dylan off a step, goes towards an open goal square and has kicked the goal. So 2 in a minute, Ryan Dillon kicks his second of the afternoon. And that is the 7th for South Barwon. They go to 7-3-45. They lead St Joey's 4-4-28. Apco Cafe 24-7. K-Rock second quarter scoreboard.
The ascendancy's changed. Stoppages are going by the way of South Barwon now, with just Davis giving them first use. Looks like some training drills are in there, some of those setups in those midfield structures. But South Barwon have got a +1 at the moment, so they've actually only got 5 in their forward half, and they still kick the goal against 6.
So they trailed by 8 points at one stage, but they've kicked 4 consecutive goals now to lead by 17.
There it is again.
Yeah, James doing the roving, but he's turned it over. Gow slung in the tackle. That should be holding the ball. Should have been a free kick to O'Dwyer if South Barwon wasn't paid. Fighting hard for it and firing a handball out of there. The handball came from Davis. But it only went to half back, and they're going to turn it over South, and Hickey's going to end up with it. Kick to the top of the square, and Driver has set himself behind the footy to take the mark in his defensive goal square. Love to go in with this lead at half time. He goes short, and the kick is okay of Siddle to O'Neill. O'Neill still inside defensive 50, gives a handball back to Siddle. Siddle, with a good bit of skill, puts a kick onto the chest of Giray. Giray back of the wing. They're happy just to control the tempo, and they will take that 17-point buffer.
What are the lights like here, Kirsch?
Not good. Riley on Bailey Scott. I hope he's got his running shoes on.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck with that one, son.
One back Gully Plant Farm, third quarter, thanks to Metricon, your local builder, and we're building strong. Here's Jace.
So Davis got it down, but Heinz got it the other way for St Joey's towards half forward. They need a quick start here, the home side. Mullen, kick around the corner towards an open goal square, getting back there, big thump away by the Swans in the last line of defence. I think it was Siddle, in fact. And he's rushed it through for one behind. So Joey's with a quick start, 4-5-29. South Barwon 7-3-45.
Could have really done with a goal there. Kicking duties are with Siddle, and he drives it long, looking for Goff in a one-on-one with De Grande, who had to play spoiler for St Joseph to the front of the pack, where Al Hickey will clean up. Hickey releases a handball over the top to Webb. Webb likes a goal, just pulled as he kicked. Open goal square, but there's numbers there. And it might have been White just banging it on the boot for South Barwon towards half-back, bouncing ball. Hutchinson will get a little block from Hickey, but getting past the block was Starkey to knock it out of bounds, and we'll get a boundary throw in front of the Australian, New Zealand and Aboriginal flags that fly proudly over Drew Oval. Bit of an easterly still, but not impacting too much on the contest.
So boundary throw in between wing and half forward. Joey's into attack, northern end of the ground. Neither ruckman really get an effective tap. Mulroney ran through without the football as well. Adams picked it up, got it away to Webb, left foot kick, sliding mark, pretty good mark in fact in the end by Higgins. And he will settle the play down for South Barwon across the half-back flank and drive it long now. Oh, gee whiz, it's close to the boundary line again with that easterly. Webb over the back, got both hands to it, couldn't take the mark off hands. And out of bounds for another throw-in.
Not Andy Higgins' finest kick. He's usually a good user of the footy, but that had a bit of helicopter Stephen Kernahan about it.
I was very close to raving that off the pack, boys.
Yeah, you would have put it through for a goal, Lockie Noble style too, I reckon, Rock Dog.
Oh, not that quick.
Use your pace.
Boundary throw-in, Davis and Sharp cleared both of them, back of the pack. The tackle was laid there on Ferguson. The clearing kick for South Barwon, though, towards Peters. Peters able to knock it to Bosley. Bosley on his non-preferred left sends it towards Noble. Back with the flight. Now it's going to be a free kick off the footy, and it's going to go against Smith, just as I think it was O'Dwyer had gone back and taken a wonderful mark for St Joey's. Joel O'Dwyer actually landed awkwardly on his head too, just giving a bit of a rub for St John of God. But Noble, who kicked a wonderful goal in the third quarter, will get a free shot from about 25 out, just right of centre. So umpires saw Harry Smith do something untoward in that marking contest he didn't like, and as a result, Lockie Noble a chance to kick his second and to push this margin out to a game-high 22 points. The Mottawari product, a stuttering approach, kicks from about 30 and has kicked the goal. So 2 for Lockie Noble. He becomes their second multiple goal kicker with Ryan Dillon. And the margin is out to 22. 8-3-51, plays 4-5-29 in this third quarter. Thanks to Metricon. Metricon's new contemporary double-story display now open at Gen Finds for display, featuring the best in modern coastal living. Open every day, 11 till 5. Here's Matt Kershaw on K-Rock Footy.
Again, in just those disputed situations, they win the ball at the source and get them on the outside. They've really got to fix their structures up and get some better shape around the pill at the moment. St Joseph's, all that's going to continue to happen and the game's going to blow out. So once they get in that forward line, it's just too open, too much space, and they're dangerous.
Kirsch, there was even no need to do that.
There wasn't. No need. Dwyer had it all, as you saw, he marked it.
Davis got it down in the middle, but St Joey's do nicely. Heinz again, inside 50. Goff got a hand to it and followed it up. Second effort was good. Gave it away by hand to Higgins. This one is still, again, not a good kick because Webb chopped it off. Adams gets it out wide with the handball. They go through. Gow goes up. That's a better play. That's a better mark. Hovey. Much better delivery, Kirsch.
Well, it's the first hit up, I think, for the day, coming in there forward 50. You're not going to get many goals if you continually bomb it into a defensive structure that's very sound.
Josh Hovey will be kicking from just inside 50.
It's a beautiful kick, boys.
There's the Moz. The Rock Dog Moz. Let's see how he goes. They need this, the home side. He comes in. Right foot kick has mozzed him completely. That is out of bounds on the full.
Add that to the list for Kershire.
So, yes, number 9, I think that is.
My goodness.
And Higgins will take the free kick for South Barwon.
Billy Beansell's kicked 3 goals in a row to start the third quarter. Drysdale 15-8-98 lead Port Arlington 3-2-20 in the Bellarine League clash at Ron Evans Oval. Higgins goes short to Siddle, who seems to have found a home down back for the moment. Siddle will go towards his defensive goal square, and Higgins back basically where it started. He goes across the face of goal into the left back pocket to White. White can send it towards left half back. It's a well way to kick onto the chest of Giray. Giray has it at left half back as South Barwon look to build maybe into a slight breeze. It's maybe more a sou'easter than a straight easterly. And he'll kick now towards half forward. Caldo, the fly, couldn't mark. Back of the pack, Noble, who's been busy. Joey's got numbers. Harry Smith on hands and knees. Dumped by Caldo in the tackle. He's going nowhere in a left half forward. We will get a ball up.
Just quickly, boys, Dole Madigan started the third quarter, has just come off, and it looks fine for the rest of the game.
So ball up. Oh, Sharp just went up indiscriminately, but he's Davis has turned around. He's paid a block. So, and Luke Davis is going, really?
Yeah, I
went for the ball.
Sharp went to put his hands up on the mark.
He did. So he gives it away by a hand to Kershaw, who drives it along the line. It's a good kick. And Gow takes the mark. Right on centre wing, on the outer side. It's a drive it long now. Does so. Inside 50, off a set of hands, comes to the back, handball over the top to Grandy, to Mullen to run in and kick the goal, and a much needed goal for St Joey's. Jack Mullen has kicked his first of the afternoon and the 5th for St Joey's, and they go to 5-5-35 and trail South Barwon 8-3-51, and that's on the Metricon K-Rock third quarter scoreboard.
All right, 2 things we spoke about at the break and what we thought that may have been a discussion point at half-time with Carson and the boys is that, there's got to be some representation in the air. You've got to lower your eyes, you've got to hit up. We've seen a hit up already. We've seen some representation in the air then, and we've seen Mullen follow the ball. So they're the things that we were talking about. You wouldn't change too many things, but put the onus back on the playing group on how you get back in this game of football.
Collingwood 20 lead, Essendon 14 around the grounds for Leopold Sporties. Back in the middle. Off the ground went Gow, and he socketed it away again from James and bought some territory for his team. But it was cleaned up nicely by Higgins, who gave it to O'Dwyer of South Barwon. O'Dwyer on his left boot. The kick that went looking for a teammate there in Carmody. It was fisted away. It's going to spill now for Dillon. He had it knocked away by Sharp. Then he tried to palm it towards a teammate in James, and it fell for Gow. Gow just bangs it long. Hovey in a 2-on-1. Did okay, Hovey, to bring it to ground, but they'll need to find numbers at the fall of the footy. One of those to Grandy was buffeted off it. Head over the ball. Goff, I've liked the look at Goff this afternoon, but there's a quick kick coming to the goal square for Joey's towards Mullen, and it's now locked up in a tackle. South Barwon player bottom. That might be White on hands and knees going nowhere, and we'll get a ball up. In fact, it's Driver, and right next to the right-hand goal post, the umpire's going to toss it into the air, Jace.
He is. And it's going to be Davis down there. Wanted to tap it through for a rush behind, but he couldn't do so because Antonak was standing on the line, getting around one. He tried to handball over the top to McComb. He couldn't do so. Now White on hands and knees. The umpire says play on. Comes Goff. He wants to see it through for a rush behind to the home side. So they get their want the Swans, and a kick in, 5-6-36 St Joey's. South Barwon 8-3-51, 8 played third term. Port Phillip Ferry's time clock.
White to bring the ball back into play. Like the look of Todd White this afternoon. Another one of those Koroit products. Plenty of Hampton League talent finding its way into the GFL this afternoon. Well, this season, and especially this afternoon. White with a bounce, and he goes very, very wide, looking out there for Lee, but it's a wonderful mark by Webb, who stood tall. Lee collapsed to the ground. Webb drove it long. Right boot, looking for a fly. De Grande couldn't take it. Front of the pack, they got numbers. Driver, or Siddle rather, handball up. Higgins, Davis, neat little kick is okay, and he finds a target on the way out. Hickey, that's James, questioning whether that went 15, but a strong grab taken by Noble at true centre half-back.
So Noble goes wide. And just hold the play up Hogan. Got drive running past. James Hickey just stands the mark. He chips the ball over the top towards half forward. And that's a free kick. So the ball's going to come back. Kershaw giving away the free.
Need to. Drop the mark.
So the ball inside 50. Bosley on a lead. Good kick. Great kick to Bosley. And Andrew Bosley, who has kicked one this afternoon, will have a set shot for goal from about 40 out. Tight angle, but on the right side for a right footer. He's in the left forward pocket, southern end of the ground. And this to take the margin back to 21.
Kirsch, just then, that guy, he had to wait to get the ball back and then still hit up a lead.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was a gap in play.
Well, they didn't get their players back in the defensive hole.
And Bosley comes in, 40, skinny I think, and has just crept it in for...
Out in the full again.
I was going to say, I thought it was out of the full. He went wide. Another one, 10.
10 for Kerrs Higher.
10 for Kerrs High. And Webb's going to take the resultant free kick in the last line defence for St Joey's.
Long way from home, St Joey's, and they trail by 15. Webb keeps it on that Minerva Road side of the ground, looking out there for a fly. McComb came hard against Caldo, couldn't complete the mark. It's off the hands of Caldo and out of bounds. And right near where the 50 meets the boundary line, we'll get a ball in.
Sam James just having a bit of cramp here, getting treated for cramp on the sidelines.
Yeah, it's a warm afternoon. The sun beating into the K-Rock box as well.
Needs more magnesium.
Ball back into play.
Pickle juice.
Davis from behind on the tap down. There's going to be a free kick from the ruck contest. Which way is it going? It's going against Davis, is it? Maybe too high. And Sharp will give a handball off to Ferguson. He'll have to kick on his non-preferred right. Not sure why Ferguson, who's a natural left footer, was running that way. Hovey stretch and will be paid the mark. Just held it long enough against Goff.
Point you make there, Kingy, on his wrong side.
Just those last few ruck decisions, the players don't even know what's going on.
Hovey long, looking for a mark. De Grande couldn't take it. McComb front of the pack. And ball knocked away. And there's a South Barwon player who has been pounced upon. And now he's been pinged for holding the footy. So that's harsh. And I reckon that didn't help is Doyle Madigan came in over the top to help lock it up. And the free kick paid against Higgins. And it's going to Kelleher, who's got it within distance, but he might look to set it up.
So Kelleher will set it up and go towards the kick, towards the lead. No mark taken. Heinz was there. Coming in, Ferguson wrapped up. The umpire says, I'll ball it up. So he's about 35 out from the St Joey's goal. Davis walks in to do the ruck contest by himself in the end, so he takes it out, gets the clearing kick. But St Joey's, Kershaw was hung on to. Yes, he was. And Kershaw at the point of the centre square and half forward will take the free kick. Plenty of players in front of him, though, as he turns around to kick long.
Sharp to come off. That's why Davis went up by himself then.
Yeah, Hovey's in the ruck and set up behind the ball.
They go short. And they go long now with the kick. James Hickey inside 50. Mark taken. And a good mark too. Hamlin Hanger contender coming in. Paddy de Grande through the middle of the pack and took the diving mark and will shoot for goal from 20 out slide angle.
So we talk about slight differences in what we want to see with their ball movement going into their forward half. Riley just made the decision to work the arc a little bit there, and that's what we talk about when we work the arc. If that long bomb is getting defended every time, then give it to someone else. Let's hold up play a little bit and wait for something else to open. They took it to the skinny side, waited for the lead, and the hit-up was on.
So, Paddy de Grande, bring the margin back again.
Kicking style.
He comes in, And that looks pretty good off the boot. That is straight through the middle. The goal umpire has not moved. So Paddy de Grande kicks his first. And the 6 for St Joey's. They're 6-6-42. They bridge the gap again. 8-3-51 South Barwon. And that is on the Metricon K-Rock third quarter scoreboard here at Drew Oval. And in the experts chair, Matt Kershaw.
We're not going to keep harping on it, but it's very easy to see here when you're in the box watching a game of footy and commentating and giving opinions on how you think teams should be changing their styles, the way they play to get back in the game of footy. Of course, the onus has got to be back on them at half-time. They've gone to the sheds and looks like they've actually listened to maybe what the coach has said, because they've completely changed their ball movement, their style going forward.
And Hovey in the ruck.
Yeah, Hovey goes against Davis, who won the tap down for South Barwon. Adams was there. Was he held on to? Umpire said play on. He was able to get a footy up only as far as Noble. Noble for South Barwon to centre half forward. Good spoil came from James Hickey of St Joseph's, but only into the path of Peters. Had his kick partially smothered. Chance for Carmody. Swings onto his right boot. A one-on-one contest. Kershaw. O'Dwyer, wonderful mark. Has he claimed it? Umpire said play on. Did it hit the ground?
I think it might
Geez,
have.
it wasn't a bad effort from Josh O'Dwyer. He did everything but hang on to it.
But
Andrew Bosley questioning the umpire. He runs away. Umpire Jones says, no, I reckon it hit the deck. And Kershaw had a really good sider on that.
I thought it just probably slipped 1 second, but the umpire was blindsided. We saw it.
Lee won the tap down. Madigan lost it in a tackle. That's holding the ball. Alderton says that I'll just hold things up. But, geez, it was a great effort. A non-Hamlin hanger.
The non-Hamlin hanger.
That is the...
We should give an almost one.
The almost Hamlin hanger, and Hutchinson with the resultant free kick inside defensive 50.
I reckon he marked it, to tell you the truth.
I thought it just tapped the ground.
So Hutchinson left foot kick. Big pack on centre wing. They all go up off hands at the side. Lee feigned the handball and dropped it. The umpire said play on. Webb tracks it towards the boundary line. Sees it over. Boundary throw-in. Changing momentum again now.
They're doing a little shift, isn't there?
Yep.
And that's, again, winning the ball at the source, getting it on the outside, and that's how teams get on top of each other. So they've got the ball back in their hands at the source at the moment, St Joseph's, and they're getting the first touch.
Boundary throw-in. Hovey wants to go early on the short boundary throw-in. Gets there and gets it down. Reed Adams goes towards the boundary line. Handball over the top. They might have the numbers, though, South Barwon. James gets it towards Bosley. Used the body nicely against Morrison. 52 out from goal. Takes the mark. Got Lee long. Wants to go towards him now. Gives him a lead into the pocket. Punched away from behind by Hutchinson and over the line. And we'll have a boundary throw-in right forward pocket. Swans into attack.
Around the grounds for Leopold Sporties, quarter time at the MCG. Collingwood 20, lead Essendon 14. Third quarter, thanks to Metricon, their new contemporary double-story display now open at Jens Finesford. All back into play. Hovey won the tap down for St Joseph's. Kershaw, the roving, snaps a kick over his left shoulder, little bounce and pitch towards the boundary line. It's not a bad result for Joey's. Surely not paying that as deliberate or insufficient attempt. And just a skill error.
Round the grounds for Leopold Sporties. Bannockburn have the lead, 12-5-77, lead into lead, 10-13-73.
That would be some sort of upset. Boundary throw in, shallow. Davis, well, he had it knocked away from him by Gow before it got to him, and then Madigan dived on the loose footy for South. He's wrapped up by Gow, and we'll get a ball up.
The all-star side.
Yeah.
Must be playing on about 80 points, are they?
Umpire tosses it into there. No, they've had a lot of consistency over the years. Davis, kick out of the pack, he's partially smothered. It goes towards O'Dwyer. Jumping on the loose footy is Mulraney, but he had it knocked away by Al Hickey. Handball on the up from Reed Adams was classy. Gow had his kick partially smothered off the left boot by O'Dwyer. Went looking for McComb. He couldn't mark. Madigan, Goff, a handball back under pressure. Asked a lot of Higgins. He caught one high. Didn't need to give away a free kick there, Joey's, but Higgins has won himself the free kick. The reigning St Albans best and fairest. He was in a four-way tie. He gives a handball off. A high kick coming from Siddle. Keldo might have caught one high. Now a chance. Peters drives it inside forward 50 to a one-on-one. Lee, best position, couldn't complete the mark. Ball hit the deck. Bosley came in hard. Hutchinson trying to get through three South Barwon players. James, a handball out the side door. Carmody went one way, then wanted to get back onto his right. Slung in the tackle, able to get a handball away to O'Neill. O'Neill, a kick to the pocket. Bosley has taken the Hamlet hanger. A wonderful mark from Andrew Bosley. He had the sit. He flew high, and not for the first time on Anzac Day, takes a wonderful mark.
Well, right
sensational.
In front of the unhappy under-18s of Joey's boys.
I reckon he might have kicked a goal in front of those same boys last year and turned and let them know all about it.
I reckon we'll see it again.
And there's every chance that Bosley might do it again. This to push the margin back out to 15 points. A wonderful mark from Andrew Bosley. And can he finish it off with a goal? He can. He just turns to his teammates, a couple of high tens, and says, come on, boys, let's get moving. 15 points, 9-3-57, plays 6-6-42 in this third quarter, thanks to Metricon and Matt Kershaw, who did that plenty of times in his career.
A little higher, but weight of numbers there going forward, and you could see it eventuate, couldn't you? It was coming, and then that just perfect.
Pressure,
absolutely, yeah. They were really
higher.
good then. And again, it was a free kick given away down the ground. The flow-on effect from that, it's occurred so many times today where a free kick's resulted in a goal.
The kick of O'Neill, though, he set it right.
Perfect. Absolutely. You lick your lips when you see them coming in like that.
So back to the middle, Davis gets it down and South Barwon go forward again, trying to track it. Hickey couldn't take it. Dylan was across there. Hickey again, tried to tap it out. Ball spills free. Kershaw with a clearing kick towards centre wing. Swans had the numbers. Higgins couldn't take it. Needs some support over the top. And Higgins put the tackle on as well. Falls to Mulroney. Now they get it through. And they go Noble. Goes towards half forward. Bosley comes out again. He's just doing it for fun. Hamlin hanger contender. Not as good as the last one, Bose. But another chance to kick a goal. He'll kick from just inside 50 straight in front.
I'll just say, fellas, that Gow just cleaned up Noble after that kick and was very lucky Bose marked it.
So Andrew Bosley, who has kicked 2, kicked the last one a minute ago. This to make the margin 21 again. Comes in, southern end of the ground. Oh, no, that's a mung. That is a mung kick, and Webb's going to be able to take the marker easily in the back pocket for St Joey's and repel the attack.
Just a momentum shift again, Jace. It's happened quite a few times, hasn't it, each quarter?
Webb, the Tasmanian, goes short to Reed Adams. Adams gives it back to Webb, just cruising past to receive it, and then he drives it to half-back. Kick was touched off the boot, so Higgins won't be paid to mark, but he was able to release a handball off towards Hogan. Hogan had it stolen. There's going to be a whistle on play at too high again, which has been the free kick of choice this afternoon for the men in lime green.
77th.
Al Hickey short to Reed Adams, who marks at left half-back. Dylan stands the mark. He'll give a handball off to Webb, who was just behind Dylan and called for the footy, and then he drives the kick long to Grandy front position. Behind Driver, diving on the ball now. He's got to knock that out, or that's holding the footy. To the letter of the law, that's holding the ball. When you dive on the footy and reel it in and don't release it, that's holding the ball. And the umpire has seen fit to say, no, I'll ball it up, and he'll do that at left half forward.
So, ball it up now. Davis goes up sharp, gets it down though. Gow put a tackle on it. It was high, I think, the umpire. We'll bring it back. I think the Swans will get a free kick at half-back. It will be, and it'll be Madigan.
So if you get Madigan high and you get the bit of hair that's below the collar, is that still a high tackle?
That's right. There's plenty to tackle there. He goes towards Bosley. Oh, big thump away by the side by O'Dwyer. He gets pushed over the line. And it will be a throw-in. Centre wing.
Sharp back into the ruck here, boys, so we'll just see how he goes against the more experienced Davis.
20 apiece for Leopold Sporties, Jace.
Hovey back forward possibly. Now Davis from behind. Can't take the ruck. He goes over on hands and knees as well. It was a kick, said the umpire. Swans to take the free kick. So Davis again, the big fella, centre wing. Gets a lead from half a lead from Bosley. Webb getting back there. He's got Hogan wide. He thought about that. He gives it by hand to Higgins, who feigned the handball, got one high, kept running, rugby style, kept going with the right foot, inside 50, turned it over. Two St Joey's players. They wheel around. Now Scott, handball, no look, off a step, kick was smothered. Kershaw with the clearing kick.
Kershaw sends it very, very, very wide. Boundary line might be his friend here, although Mullen used the body well there on White, took the footy, but White laid a really good tackle. Mullen knocked it away towards only as far as Madigan. Handball on the up from Noble was good to Geray. Geray's left foot kick inside 50. 3 Joey's climb and can't take the mark between them. There's going to be a free kick. Webb might have copped a poke in the eye, and now advantage is paid. Adams, will it open up for St Joey's? He goes very, very wide, looking for De Grandy, who stretches and takes a good, strong mark. Paddy De Grandy, late inclusion this afternoon. St Joey's without Mitchell and Jack Buckley, who we know are both competent up forward. And he goes wide to Kelleher. Kelleher comes back inboard with a kick right half forward to Ferguson for St Joseph's.
Talking about Jack Buckley, the ruckman, or the forward?
Yes. Well, he's flexible.
He is.
Ferguson directing traffic as he goes to kick, pulls it into the right forward pocket, big fly, and he's claiming the mark. At the back is Clohessy. He was fifth in line. I'm sure it touched other hands.
It bounced off the head.
And Clohessy was able to convince the umpire that he was the only man to touch it, and in the right forward pocket, he'll have a shot at goal to cut the margin back to single figures.
I know we're 311 metres away from that one, Kingy, but that certainly bounced off the back of someone's number into his hands.
Needs to kick this to make the margin 9 points. Sam Clohessy. Old man was a star with Port Melbourne in the VFA, and he's kicked the goal. So they're back to within 9, and this game is well and truly still in the balance. They're 7-6-48 now, the Joeys. South Barwon a 9-3-57, 23 minutes gone in this third quarter. And our time clock, thanks to Port Phillip Ferries, no better way to travel. Port Arlington and Geelong to Docklands.
Probably aiming their second or third mark inside forward 50 for the day as well. Like a bit of better ball movement, and again just holding it up around that 50-metre arc, and then a dangerous kick in.
De Grande looks better when he's able to move laterally.
Absolutely. So have a starting point. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Have a starting point inside your 50, but keep working up the ground. Taking your marks, centre wings, that type of thing. So he's got to be mobile.
So back to the middle, Sharp, Davis. Sharp goes up early. Davis gets it down too easily. Adams puts a tackle on. Ball spills free. And the umpire might have to come in with a bit more work to do. Secondary bounce. Points in there as well. And heading off the bottom was James.
Webb and Dylan doing a bit of slapping out of each other down here.
Davis gets it down. Ball though. Joey's had the numbers around it. Oh, can they get it free? Alderton. His handball spilt free to Noble. Right foot kick inside 50. Lead deep. Getting across there. Smith does well. Off hands. Hickey at the back. Just settles the play down. Good kick to Kershaw.
James Hickey was clean there, and that was a good kick on the out to Kershaw. Kershaw driving it long for St Joey's. Well-weighted ball. Here's Al Hickey. So James Hickey to Kershaw to Al Hickey. So some premiership experience combining there for St Joseph's. A driving kick from Al Hickey long through the hands of De Grande off the back of the pack. Alderton through a tackle. Steadies himself. Shoots and kicks. Across the face for a minor score. Gee, that would have been some sort of goal from Zach Alderton. He did well off the hands of the pack. Margin is 8. So the momentum with St Joseph's for the moment, 49. Bay Trail, South Barwon, 57. Third quarter, thanks to Metricon, your local builder, and we're building strong.
So Higgins kicking in duties for South Barwon. Plays on. Comes towards the Alan Russell Pavilion side. Oh, Webb behind. Hamlin Hanger. Contender from Luke Webb. He's done it all afternoon.
They're all know about that one too.
They're all playing for second.
He just plucked it. Yeah, Bose has got it by the looks of it. Goes up now. Off hands. Hovey in front. Falls to the back. Handball across the face of goal. Driver. Little right foot kick was okay. Did he find the safety of Peters? He did. He got a left foot kick around the corner. Kept it in, but it's all St Joey's there. Kershaw. He gets it from centre wing. Back inside. 50. Driver gets back and takes the mark.
Not Kershaw's best kick.
No, it was good pressure by
Matty Caldo.
Yeah, it was. He just put him off his kick at the last second.
Yeah, Caldo came really hard. Might be White with the footy for South Barwon, the Koroit product, towards half-back, looking for Caldo. Spoiled to the front of the pack, found Adams for St Joseph's. He gave a handball to Heinz. Heinz a kick into the right forward pocket to Grandy on a lead. Takes the mark in a mismatch against Higgins. So right below the scoreboard in Doc's pocket here at Drew Oval, South Barwon leading by 8. De Grande a chance to cut the margin to 2 in the shadows of three-quarter time. As the shadows actually start to find their way across parts of Drew Oval.
Doc Applefoot, mate, absolute legend.
Massive kick, this one.
De Grande, stuttering approach. Usual ball drop.
He has.
Works.
He's kicked it.
That's a wonderful finish. That is a contender for a Lambie's Tavern goal of the afternoon. Tight in the right forward pocket. It's a unique kicking style that he has, Paddy De Grande, but it proves effective there. He kicks his second of the quarter, and he pulls the margin back to within 2 points. They're 8-7-55 St Joseph's. They trail South Barwon 9-3-57, 26 and a half minutes gone in this third quarter, and we're set for another Anzac Day Classic.
So Inverleigh 13-14-92 around the grounds for Leopold Sporties lead. Bannockburn 13-6-84. Back in the middle here at Drew Oval. Davis took it out of the ruck, goes towards Caldo at half forward. St Joey's working overtime. Ball spills free though. Swans with the numbers in front. They can run free and kick around the corner. That's a right foot kick of it. Oh, Jackson Carmody with the outside of the right boot. And that's the Lambie's Tavern goal of the day, contender as well from Jackson Carmody. His first quick reply for the Swans. And they go to 10-3, 63. They lead St Joey's 8-7, 55. Back to 8 points of difference. Metricon, K-Rock, third quarter scoreboard.
I see a bit of it today, and it's proving costly. We use the term release on our term. So if you get tackled and you think that it's a fair tackle and you can get a restart out of it, then let's have a ball up. Too many times today, players are trying to get rid of the pill upon a tackle, and they put it into dangerous positions. They ran into it and get an open goal.
Davis grabbed it out of the ruck, tumble punt forward that was too hard for Caldo to mark. Pressure came from O'Dwyer of St Joseph's. Ball spilled for Oscar Morrison. Threw it on the boot, but Davis is going to mark on the chest. Just forward of the centre circles. Cricket pitch, middle of Drew Oval. Drives it long, looking for a marking target. Noble, the unlikely one, and Webb stood tall and once again took another intercept mark. He goes wide with a kick to Al Hickey, the skipper of St Joseph's, with it inside the right back pocket. Sends a kick very, very wide. Stretching but not marking. Might have been De Grande. Loose ball falls for Siddle. Oh, a wonderful little sidestep, and then a bounce and a driving kick. One-on-one. Bosley, best position. Bosley marked. Turnovers hurt, and then Bosley quickly goes with a snap on the left and kicks the goal. And Bosley this afternoon has added his third. 2 in this third quarter, and just as we thought St Joseph's were going to put this one back on even terms, bang, bang, Carmody and Bosley, and they lead again by 14. South Barwon on the third quarter, K-Rock, Metricon scoreboard, 11-3, 69. St Joseph's, 8-7, 55. At Metricon, you can build with confidence, and once again, in time on, South Barwon kicking goals.
Both centre clearances too, Kingy. So the ruck work by Davis was fantastic on both occasions.
Beautiful.
And just that quick kick into the corridor gives them an opportunity.
Back to the middle again. Davis tried to take it out of the ruck contest this time. He couldn't do so. Quick kick around the corner. Gow towards centre half forward. Pack develops off the side of the pack. Driver gets across there first for South Barwon. He's tracked there. And can he keep it in? I don't think he can. He ran out of territory. And it'll have to be a boundary throw in. Finn McComb was across there as well for St Joey's. So throw in front of the scoreboard. South Barwon 69, St Joey's 55. Played 29.5, Port Phillip Ferries time clock in this third term. Boundary throw in eventually for Davis and Hovey doing the ruck work up forward. Davis got a hand to it. Off hands front of the pack. Track close to the boundary line. Gow tried to keep it in. He couldn't. It looked like he could, but he ran out of room. Mullen was there as well, so we'll have a boundary throw in. Still in the attack for the Joeys. They need a goal quickly before three-quarter time.
Cut the margin back under double figures. Boundary throwing right forward pocket. Hovey and Davis doing the ruck work. Hovey tried to grab it out of the ruck, then he tried to knock it away after it was knocked away from him. Hogan out of the pack. Geray rolling ball that will roll towards the boundary line. Appeals for deliberate, and they will go unanswered. And the boundary umpire will throw it in below the scoreboard. That for Metricon. Their new reverse living display home now open at 4 Appleby Street, Kerr-Lewis. Shows South Barwon leading by 14, 30.5 minutes tick past on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock. Hovey doing the ruck work with Davis. No clear winner. Ball gets to the front of the pack. Alderton dives in there. He's trying to lock it up. It is going to get locked up. It's not coming out. Umpire says give it to me. And just a little bit of a lull in play for the moment as we approach the final change. The Swans, they lead by 14. It's in the Joey's right forward pocket.
Hovey, ruck work, goes up straight into Davis. Nearly comes back to him. Side of the pack, or driver just got it away. Under pressure. Heinz on the boundary line. Right foot kick around the corner has missed everything. And as the siren sounds for three-quarter time.
Closest margin. You've got to go back to the first ever meeting where it was just 7 points between the two clubs. Will it be that tight this afternoon? We'll find out. Here's Jason Doherty.
Davis gets it down. First ruck, Adams. Picks it up for St Joey's, back to Sharp. He got it on to Haynes. Goes out wide with the kick. St Joey's attacking towards half forward. Ball spills free 2-on-1. Ferguson needed to get it back. Antonak just dropped the footy. Just at the crucial stage. And
on the full, is it?
No, boundary throw in. So off hands and just outside 50 for St Joey's will have a boundary throw in. Ball back into play. Davis front position on the tap down. Mulroney couldn't take it cleanly. Tracking into the boundary line is Siddle outside of the right boot. A little dribble. It only went as far as Al Hickey. Al Hickey tumbling punt inside 50. Couldn't hang on to it. Mullen at the front of the pack. Picked up by Gow for St Joseph's. Gave it to Mullen. He was ridden without the footy by White. And the free kick will come back to Jack Mullen. Man on the mark stands 48 from goal. So Mullen sees something short and they're queuing up. He had Al Hickey or Gow.
and it was Gal who was about 5 metres further forward that he went with, and this for the ideal start to St Joseph's to cut into the margin that is sitting at 14.
Well, he's a very skillful footballer, James Gale.
It was wonderful recovery by Jack Mullen then, boys. He didn't mark it, got up, got the free kick.
From about 45 metres, Gal hits it very, very sweetly, but he might have just pushed it to the right, and it's through for a minor score. That was effortless, the kick.
Always offline, Kingy.
But it's missed to the right-hand side, through for a behind, and the margin is 13-8, 8:56 St Joseph's. South Barwon are 11-3, 69. 13 is the margin as we've gone a minute and a half on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock. Final term of K-Rock football on Anzac Day.
The opportunities we spoke about.
Swans bring it back in. Big kick, off hands, back of the pack. And the clearing kick from Sharp back towards Mullen. Couldn't take it. McComb can. Goes with a right foot kick. Open goal. Square misses it to the right-hand side. Could have handballed it probably to Rolly Ferguson.
He
but
was out, wasn't he?
He was. 1 goal, 1 Finn McComb's personal tally. And Todd White will do it all again for the Swans at full-back after that quick transition back. He goes wide to the outer side and finds Starkey with the ball inside defensive 50 for South Barwon. He chips the ball back into White. Tough kick, but just into space. Took the mark, and at defensive 50, White will have it.
White went to handball off to Hogan, but instead shields his eyes from the sun. Inside defensive 50. Now we'll send it towards the eastern or Minerva Road side of the ground. Looking out there for Lee. Good spoil by Webb. No umpire said you chop the arms. And it'll be a free kick to Ollie Lee. And Luke Webb had to stop himself from remonstrating with the umpire, realising it was going to cost him 50. Was mid-remonstration when he goes, oh, hang on, no, I'll just give the ball back to Ollie. That's a high kick that Caldo will come up and have fisted away by O'Dwyer of St Joseph's. The little knockdown was good to Hogan. Hogan shares it by hand with Noble. Noble a kick inside forward 50, and that's onto the chest of Carmody. Great to see a Jay Carmody dominating inside forward 50 for his GFL team, because we haven't seen one since Jake absolutely tore everybody in U1 playing for Colac.
Particularly Mark's inside forward 50 kicking.
Yeah. He's got that sort of similar, medium-sized build, that rounded shoulders that Jake Carmody had.
That's a beautiful hitter.
Oh, that's just the area they've been better at, isn't it?
This for a 18-point South Barwon lead from about 40 metres out. It's going to fade across the face of goal. They'll compete off hands. St Joey's keep it alive. Kershaw with the clearing kick, bouncing ball fortuitously for Al Hickey. Tried to share a handball with Ferguson. Ferguson picked it up, got a little handball away. Oh, well played by McComb. Got rid of Higgins and then sent a kick to half back to De Grande.
Mung punt straight into the arms of Paddy De Grande, but you've got to be in front. And De Grande was on centre wing.
He was an inside out.
He's got Hovey wide. He goes in that direction. Goff has to make up a bit of space. Hovey can't take the mark. Second effort was all right. Got it back. Oh, handball, no. Dropping the ball, said the umpire.
Yeah, Adams had to get it quicker.
It was, and they want to pay advantage. They go South Barwon. Higgins, right foot kick, open half forward space. Bosley runs past it. Morrison sees it over the boundary line for a throw in.
Really good crowd in front of the Alan Russell Pavilion on Anzac Day. Where else would you be other than local footy on Anzac Day? Great crowd here at Drew Oval. Boundary thrown is a shallow one. Davis went with the double palm back towards the corridor. Loose footy. Diving on it was O'Dwyer for South Barwon. Noble at close quarters. Gave it to Lee, who was slung in the tackle. He lost the footy. Now it spills for Rolly Kershaw. Kick smothered by a desperate O'Dwyer. Ball rolling towards Hickey, who dived on it. And then O'Dwyer dived on it as well. He's been good there, O'Dwyer, for South Barwon, just trying to keep it locked in. And now Caldo trying to barge his way through like a front row. Rodney Howe style for the Melbourne Storm going back 20-odd years. But he's going nowhere. And the umpire says, give it to me. About 35, make it 40 out from the South Barwon goal.
So ball up, comes to the side of the pack. And Gow works his way through the middle, outside of the right boot, falls in the arms of Hovey. Couldn't take the mark, goes close to the boundary line, pushes Goff past it, then got one high. The umpire said he did.
Oh, it was a bit late, wasn't it, by the umpire?
It was very...
I think the umpire saw him clutching at his face.
I think it was, if the Lokies were on tonight, he might win one.
Oh, was it?
The South Barwon boys weren't too happy in front of the free kick.
It was more a BAFTA when he was
BAFTA. So they go high and wide. Ferguson. Pretty close to the boundary line. The boundary umpire was right there, right in front of the best seats in the house, thanks to Apco Cafe. 24/7 will have a boundary throw in. 11-3, 69 South Barwon. St Joey's 8-9, 57.
Listen, John, I got just a little bit of cramp for young Chloe Hesse, just doing those calf stretches like he was about to take off from the starters blocks in the Olympic 100. Boundary umpire just inside the field of play will fling it back in. Davis and Sharp. Sharp winning the tap down this time, roving at the front by Heinz. Heinz from 50 right in front of our best seats in the house. That would be tough if he brought it back around. He can't. It floats out of bounds on the full, and a free kick in the left back pocket to be taken by Driver.
Players are going down on their horses when they come off, actually, Kingy. It's sapping, energy sapping out there today.
It's warm out there. Chance now for Driver to clear, sends it towards half-back, looking for a fly. The only fly is Sharp. That's a good mark, good confidence booster for the young man in game number 3.
Davis stands the mark. 65 from goal. Dylan Sharp, right foot kick. Top of the goal square. Hovey has to stand his ground. DeGrandy off hands and over the boundary line for a throw in. So right forward pocket, Joey's into attack.
Probably just held it up a little bit too long there, Sharp, because it sort of just, everyone knew where it was going to go.
So Hovey ruck work for Joey's deep into attack against Davis. Boundary throw in. Oh, Davis held on to. Umpire says play on. Falls to the side. Mullen can't take it with him. Comes back to Alderton. Runs through the space. Goes towards the top of the square. Past DeGrandy and through. 4-1 behind to St Joey's. They go to 8-10-58. They trail South Bale 11-3, 69. That's on the Apco Cafe 24/7 K-Rock final quarter scoreboard.
Two-seater Cessna just going above us.
Going to say low
flight path. Flight path.
Kirsch, you need to get round Sharpie when he has the ball.
Yeah, 100%.
White driving it long to the middle of Drew Oval. Webb will set himself, or Clohessy take your pick. They raffle it and the number 1's drawn out. Clohessy quickly to his feet, sends it wide to Hutchinson, trying to open up an avenue inside forward 50. Hutchinson, it'll bounce in front of Ferguson. He fires a handball back from whence it came, and then the kick, but might have been Hickey onto the chest of Mullen. That was a bullet that came from James Hickey onto the chest of Jack Mullen, leading out, and the man on the mark will stand about 45 from goal, and Jack Mullen a chance to cut the margin back under a goal. That margin was 14 points at three-quarter time. They've kicked 3 consecutive behind St Joseph's, and this for a much-needed goal and to breathe some real fire into this contest. Jack Mullen playing just the 13th game of his career. He averages a goal a game. He swings out. He sends it long. He sends it high, but he pushes it wide and through for another minor score. 4 consecutive behinds for the men in red, gold and black. And he's got 1 goal, 1 into his personal tally. 8-11-59, playing 11-3-69 in his final term of K-Rock football, thanks to Apco Cafe 24/7.
Higgins straight down the ground again for South Barwon. Davis goes up. His own man knocked the ball out of his hands. Pack develops. Caldo puts the tackle on. Reed Adams getting off the bottom of the pack, and it will be a ball up right in the middle.
Collingwood 38, Essendon 30 at half-time for Leopold Sporties.
Off Drew Oval, so coming through Sharp. Couldn't get it down effectively. Big tackle from Noble, and the umpire with a bit more work to do. Hines with it, gets up, gives it back to umpire Jones. Davis gets it down to the side. Adams put his head over the ball, got one high. The umpire said play on, and he will have to come in and do a bit more work.
Al Hickey's push forward, boys.
So change there, and the ball up.
Sharp winning the tap down this time. Reed Adams with his head over the foot. He might have had his head taken off by James. Umpire said play on. Turned over with the handball into the path of Dylan. Dylan then banged it on the boot forward. Fisted away by Oscar Morrison into the right back pocket. O'Dwyer, the Yarrawonga product, has his kick partially smothered. It's out of bounds for a boundary throw-in in front of the Alan Russell Pavilion that has them standing 5 or 6 deep, as they have been for most of the afternoon. Left forward pocket, South Barwon in attack. Can they deliver a knockout blow here as they lead by 10 points? 10 minutes gone. Port Phillip Ferry's time clock final term. K-Rock football. Hope you're enjoying it through K-Rock 955, krock.com.au and the AFL Barwon Facebook live stream from the ruck contest. Ball spills to the front. Heights kick went about 8 metres. Chance now for Al Hickey, who he might have copped one high. And gee, I'd love it. Kerr's highest stat for every time that Al Hickey has taken one high.
Can only give you out the fools.
And it's Hickey with the footy. He's now called to play on the skipper, so he off a step, just sends it long, asking a fly, and Chloe Hesse stretching but not marking. Joey's got plenty of numbers here. One of those Ferguson, non-preferred right, dribbles a kick around the corner, only as far as Hogan, kept his head and gave it to James, and James can send it from left half back.
Goes towards centre wing, off the back of the pack. Webb's across there. He'll get it from Kershaw. Handballs it on the up. Hickey over the top. James gives it away. Now they go out wide. They've kept their space, kept their width. They need to move it, Kirsch says.
They've got to roll.
And
see, the defensive structure behind gets set up too easily.
Short little kick is okay. They've got it. Try and get it inside now. Oh, dangerous. The tackle was on from Hickey. Now it's Alex Hickey. Goes high with the kick. And there's 3 South Barwon players there. The front and centre was pretty good. Ferguson falls to Alderton, who kicks the goal. Lammy's Tavern goal of the day contender from Zach Alderton. Kicks his first of the afternoon. Much needed for St Joey's. They've been attacking and they get the reward. 9-11-65 and they back in the contest. 10-9-69 South Barwon. That's on the APCO Cafe 24/7 K-Rock final quarter scoreboard.
You did call it, Jace, how I said, they've got to roll the ball on, because what happened was they got some really good structure behind the ball, South Barwon. They were organised. They were actually in really good position then to defend it. They actually just really stuffed it up and defended poorly when the ball was in the air for probably the first time today.
I think 3 went up, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. When the ball hit the ground, they had no numbers, so there was weight of numbers and St Joseph's won out.
Back in the middle, going to ground. Mulroney opened the door for Alderton. The goal kicker, it was his first goal. He gave a handball back to Gow. Gow a high, long ball, wanting Hovey. Spoil from behind. Came from Goff, front of the pack. Joey's with numbers. One of those was Chloe Hesse. Bouncing left foot kick, cleaned up by Hogan in the right back pocket. Under pressure, dumped as he kicked by Gra. Spills now. McComb to take the lead. McComb with a wonderful finish to put St Joseph's in front. Left forward pocket, tight angle, and the young man kept his head. The late inclusion, he wasn't playing 24 hours ago. He found himself with a spot in the side when Buckley and Mitchell pulled out, and McComb has given his team the lead, and he's kicked this afternoon his second goal. St Joseph's 10-11-71 lead South Barwon 11-3-69 in an Anzac Day cracker.
Well, Flynn McComb will get that goal. Aiden Grass's run and pressure on Todd White to force that ball as a ground ball. Exiting their forward 50 was fantastic, defensive 50.
Joey's lead for the first time since the 21-minute mark of the second quarter, Jace.
Back in the middle, Alderton, who's got it in front of him. He can't pick it up there. Oh, he puts the tackle on.
Good tackle.
Too high, said the umpire. Has been the free kick of choice. And it goes out wide now to Driver, who ran off half-back, runs to centre wing, pressure on, gets the right foot kick long towards half-forward. Front of the pack, Siddle was good. Handball over the top. They've got the numbers now, the Swans. Under pressure, though. Sharp puts the tackle on, comes back. And they get it out. Kershaw, short little handball over the top was okay. Along the line towards Hoodie and Carso in the coach's box. It's way too wide. And it's out of bounds. Another one, 13.
We'll add that to the Kerrs higher
stats
today. 13 is unheard of.
So the Swans will take the free kick. And big kick to Duray. Goes inside 50. Big pack. Bosley from the back. Lee in front. Wrapped up. Loses the football. Comes out towards the front, and it might be Antonak back there as well. He holds it up, and it will be a ball up left half forward for the Swans.
14 minutes gone. Port Phillip Ferry's time clock. Still plenty left in this one. Joey's lead by 2. Lee does the ruck work, gets a fist on the footy against DeGrande, but Webb does the roving. A high kick, a floating ball that will fade towards the boundary line. Hovey flew for St Joseph's, but couldn't mark in a pack of 4. Ball on ground level. There's going to be a high tackle, I reckon.
High decision.
And now a bit of a push and shove. It's Clohesi who took Driver high.
Composure is what both teams need right now, boys.
Well,
Composure.
There's still 15 minutes left in this
Correct.
game.
Driver from outside 50 pulls a kick into the left forward pocket. He wanted Bosley, didn't have the carry on the kick. It's off the hands maybe of Gow, and a boundary throw in left forward pocket. Cemetery end. South in attack. They trail by 2. 15 minutes just about to tick over on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock. Hope you're enjoying this as much as we are through KROC 955, kroc.com.au and the AFL Barwon Facebook live stream. Here's Jason Doherty.
So Lee in front of DeGrande. Ruck contest. Falls. Gow runs free. Gets it away to Antonak. His handball out into the wide open spaces. Hoping it sits. It does. Smith around the corner. Back towards centre wing, but chopping it off. And doing nicely there is Hogan for South Barwon. Antonak was running into the space, but Hogan got there first. He goes long. Lee comes out, off hands, through the middle. Gow, handball over the top. Dangerous. Swans coming the other way. Mulroney. He's wrapped up. Umpire says, holding the ball.
She's hot again out there, Jace.
She is. Reed Adams will take the free kick.
Adams at left half back. One of the more experienced heads out there for St Joseph's.
What you need right now, some experienced members just to slow it down.
Kick towards half forward. Big fly McComb from behind to kick the go-ahead goal only a few minutes ago. There's a St Joseph's player down after that marking contest. It might be Hovey, who is very slow to get to his feet for St John of God. And he's just now sitting up, but he's not in a hurry to get up. He's just collecting his breath. Now he gets to his feet. Does the veteran big man. And he limps away.
He had a bad knock about 5 minutes ago, boys.
Davis the tap down. Thank you, Chris Nichols, for St John of God down boundary side. Trying to lock it into Grandy. Mulroney is there as well. That ball's not coming out. We will get a ball up. Just forward to the centre wing, outer side. St Joseph slightly in attack. They lead by 2. 16 and a half minutes gone.
Leopold Sporties around the grounds. Drysdale 22-21, 153. Port Ellington 4-4-28 as the ball goes inside 50. Hovey can't take the diving mark. Swans have got the numbers at the back. Hogan close to the boundary line. Happy to see it over. And deep into the Joey's attack, we'll have a boundary throw in.
It might have been more gully than slips, probably.
I think that was more of a dive, a bit longer. So boundary throw in. St Joey's with DeGrandy in the ruck against Davis. Favours DeGrandy, puts it to the side. Higgins drew a player and got the ball away to Mulroney. Close to the boundary line. It's still in. Falls for Lee. Can he keep it in now? Umpire right there, the boundary umpire. And they said yes, he can. Comes back now. Gow tracks it back. Can't pick it up. Still on hands and knees. Big pack there across 50 for St Joey's. Not coming out now. And the central will come in.
Don't think we're going
a bit of work to do.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any pretty footy in the next 10 minutes, Jace, to be quite honest.
Might be over between Inverleigh and Bannockburn. Hasn't been score updated for a while. 92-84 for Leopold Sporties from the ruck contest. Not going anywhere. Trying to barge his way through is Brand Heinz, the experienced campaigner. Making sure he imposes himself at the contest. Umpire quickly puts it into the air. Davis winning the tap down. Siddle to do the roving. He left the footy behind. Adams didn't though. And he got one high, I reckon, on the way through. So another high free kick. For Kerrs High, that number is going to be fairly high. It's up there with the out of bounds on the full. Mullen presenting, he ignores that, so he just sets it up. He sees a lead coming and stretching and marking his O'Dwyer, is it?
No, it's Grass.
Oh, it's Grass. That's a wonderful grab. He flew high. He got a little nudge from Hogan under the footy, but he held himself well. He was strong through the core.
Honoured the lead, Kingy.
Yeah.
Honoured the lead.
And Grass has a chance to make this margin 8 points.
More importantly, there was numbers fall of the ball as well. They actually looked better structurally forward then. This is no bigger kick he's had in his life, this kid.
No, he's
I'm right behind it, boys.
third game of his career. Start at left-hand goal post, work it back, you would suspect, from 35 metres for an 8-point St Joseph's lead. And he's all over it too. Turns to the crowd and says, thank you very much. Aidan Grass has got 2 for the afternoon. The margin is 8. St Joseph's with their equal biggest lead of the afternoon. They led by 8 points midway through the second quarter. And on the final quarter, APCO Cafe 24/7 scoreboard, St Joseph's 11-11, 77. South Barwon 11-3, 69.
Tell you who's been huge. Brant Haynes, head over the pill. Reed Adams has been huge in the last 10 minutes. Absolutely massive.
Massive.
And they're probably the ones we were looking for to get that lift around those stoppages.
Now back to the middle, Sharp and Davis. Davis tries to take it out of the ruck. Here he's again, Heinz again, gets it out. Antonak, dangerous kick towards Hickey. Had to sit and wait for it, El Hickey, and just took the mark and goes wide, looking for Mullen. Driver pushes him past. Mullen can keep it. Get out of my way, says Luke Webb. He runs 65 out from goal, back towards the top of the square. Grass is there. Ball spills free. Here's Ferguson. Handball to nobody in particular. Alden's there as well. He'll get on the end of it. He can't pick it up. Fumbles. Needs to get away. Oh, blind hand. Great work. Right foot kick towards Hovey. And Goff gets across now. Doesn't take the mark. Oh, he's just running at rat pace. Kick around the corner.
Did something happen?
Close to the boundary line. Now Smith gives it away to Ferguson. Back to the top of the square. Grass can take another one. Have overhanger contender. And 15 out from goal. Will shoot for his third.
We might need to make sure Josh Hovey's okay, because he wasn't sort of coherent when that ball was coming in. Whether he's had a head knock or something in that last contest.
Goff wasn't running quick on.
No, I don't know what happened. They must have both thought they were on the line or something. Or
close to the boundary line for a throw-in.
Yeah.
So Aidan Grass has kicked the last one to give an 8-point lead. This 14 points the difference.
Jace, I said his last kick was big. This one's huge.
So he comes in now. 15 out. Right foot kick. Oh, tell you what, he made the boys.
The under 18 boys are up and about. Look at them.
So he kicks his third of the afternoon and the 12th for St Joey's. They're 12-11-83 and they lead South Barwon 11-3-69. APCO Cafe 24/7 final quarter K-Rock scoreboard.
Jace, it's hard to put a price on experience, isn't it, in games of football? But when the game's tight and there's still 10 minutes or 12 minutes left in the game, you want the experienced players with ball in hand, and that's exactly what we're seeing at the moment. Controlling the game, bit of tempo, winning in it when they have to. Some great run off half back from them boys and into their forward line.
14 points is the margin. Davis climbing high in the middle, just wants to get things moving for South Barwon. It's all or nothing now for the Swans. They might as well have a dip. 21 3/4 minutes gone on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock. Grass with two very crucial goals late in this contest to give him 3 for the afternoon. Career high for him. Back in the middle, Alderton went back with the handball, nearly turned it over. Heinz was able to pick up the loose ball. Noble dived on it for South Barwon after it was knocked away from Heinz. That's not coming out of that pack. Umpire says need to give it to me. Oh no, it is coming out because Alderton got a handball feed. Might have came from Hutchinson. A high floater to the wing. That's well judged by Scott. Kicked a wonderful goal in the second term. Oh, he bursts away. And then he has a bounce and a driving long kick. He's pulled to the left. Well, he might have kicked another contender for a goal of the year if he had been on target.
It's like running race 6 adapter.
Hey, we talked about it.
Goes.
He's got some serious wheels, Jace.
Margin is 13.
Side power.
They needed that. 12-11 playing 11-4. And Webb's got it in the left back pocket after the kick in came from Rolly Kershaw.
So Webb just settles the play down as Kirsch was talking about. Just some experience, just settling it down, driving it as long as he can towards half back. Big pack there off the front. Good kick around the corner.
Goes out. No,
the ball comes back. White takes the mark. Centre wing. Back to Ensick. Came in front of the scoreboard. Off hands. Caldo there. Falls to the back. Kick off the ground by Noble. But there's Webb. Off a step. Back to Ensick. Came again at half back for St Joey's. 2-on-1. Happy to see it over the line. And they do so now for a throw in.
Been real good their back half, haven't they, in this quarter, St Joseph's?
Kirsch, the only member of the panel that tipped Joey's this afternoon, he appears to be on the mark. They look to be improving to 2-1. Will join South Barwon on that record. Still plenty to play. Shallow throw in. Davis winning the tap down, rolling ball towards the boundary line. Ferguson on his preferred side for St Joseph's. Snaps a left foot kick to half back, and then Giray will give away a free kick. I reckon no, umpire didn't see it that way against Bohesi. Kick into the pocket. Went looking for Siddle, couldn't take the mark. Front of the pack. Great release from Ferguson to Webb. Webb a handball on the bounce, taken by Adams, slung in the tackle. His handball is indiscriminate. Numbers there, though, for Joey's to clean up, including Callagher. He just fired a handball forward. Alderton rang onto it, gave a handball up. McComb on his left boot, puts it out in front of de Grande, but he's put it out on the full. As he no, just bounced out, and we'll get a boundary throw in. And St Joseph's have got it where they want it. 24-minute mark of the final term. Port Phillip Ferries time clock. Port Phillip Ferries no better way to travel, and they lead by 13.
Boundary throw in. Davis got it down. Close to the boundary line again. St Joey's will be happy if it goes over. Madigan tried to get the handball out. There it is. Over the line, is it? Pretty close. And it will be out. I'll tell you who will be embarrassed by their selection is Chris Nichols. He won't be allowed in the Alan Russell Pavilion, will he?
I'll tell you who else has been terrific this quarter, Zach Alderton.
Yes,
been
amazing.
Absolutely terrific.
Amazing. He is on cue. Kick, top of the square. They go up to Grandy at the back and off hands, out of bounds. In fact, 3 for 1 behind to St Joey's. So they go to 12-12-84, the home side. South Barwon 11-4-70. APCO Cafe 24/7 K-Rock final quarter scoreboard.
Higgins will drive it long towards half-back, looking out there for leader Fly. Couldn't complete the mark, but there's plenty of South Barwon players there, including Scott. He just couldn't get away. Oh, wonderful tackle laid, bringing him to ground by O'Dwyer, and it forced a spillage. The kick might have been Kershaw. Callagher couldn't mark. The hands of the pack, Mullen. Mullen sends it to the pocket, looking for a marking option. Grah couldn't complete it, as he was given a little nudge from Goff.
Really had push.
And lucky that he didn't go into the sign that's there. And we've got a boundary throw in the right forward pocket. 25 and a half minutes ticked over. It looks like St Joseph's stranglehold on Anzac Day will continue. They've won 13 straight against South Barwon, including every Anzac Day back to 2014, and they look like they're going to do it again. Davis won the tap down. Mullen did the roving, brought down to ground in a tackle, and he's been pinged for holding the footy. It's White's going to win the free kick, and he knows he's got to get things moving, but they are a long way from home.
So White goes long, as long as he can. Oh, Webb goes up one-handed, can't take it. Caldo, handle on the outside to the Greyhound. Race 6 at Dapto. Here he goes. Scott runs away. 2 bounces, 3 bounces. This could be the goal of the year. He goes towards the top of the square. Off hands at the back of the pack. And all in no vein, because the St Joey's defence has been rock solid, and Riley Kershaw takes the mark and half back.
50. Tried to milk a 50.
Yeah, that was a Logie when he performed.
That's experience, though. He's going to waste 30 seconds here. Watch this. Watch how long he takes.
Kirsch, Sharpie's chase then was outstanding. I've got to say, it was brilliant.
Kershaw long to the outer wing, hugs the boundary line. Caldo from 3 deep, couldn't complete the mark. McComb's been okay. Handball to Adams. Adams to Clohessy. Step through the tackle of O'Neill and then put a kick up the chimney. White used the body well to get rid of Ferguson, and he allowed a path for Driver. That's what he does with the kick. He just gets it over the outstretched hand of the St Joseph's player in Hickey. It falls for Carmody to go to the pocket, looking for Bosley. Kick had too much on it, and it rolls out of bounds for a boundary throw in right forward pocket. And we're in the last roll of the dice area now for South Barwon.
27 played, final term, Port Phillip Ferry's time clock.
I can hear her singing.
Inverleigh 105, Bannockburn 95 at the 24-minute mark. Inverleigh 105-101 in what must have been a thriller out at Inverleigh Morton Power Oval.
So the ball from the ruck contest. Joey's with the numbers. They put the tackle on. What's the umpire saying? Held in.
Reed Adams again, mate.
It was. He was right there next to Dylan, who gave the ball back. Off hands, tapped down by Kershaw in the end. Oh, Callagher got one high in the tackle. The umpire will come in and ball it up.
When you do get one high, you don't get it.
Dylan was swinging the arms there, trying to break free.
Yeah.
So ball up. Davis, Alderton tries to tap it on. Ferguson's little toe poke kick across half back. Can they pick it up? That's the thing. Oh, that's a hold.
He's still got him.
He's still got him. He tried to put the harness on him nearly. Now, McComb gets it for St Joey's. Kick around the corner by Mullen to an open half-forward flank position. Duray can't take it with him. Oh, he might end up with it in the end. And then he had 2 wide. He goes back, straight back, and turns the ball over. Reed Adams, again, as we said, has had a magic last quarter, has taken the mark.
Experience. Jace, watch this.
Yeah, got it.
Kershaw-like.
Act like he got a clip.
Correct.
28 and a quarter minutes gone.
Because the umpire's going to give you another 10 seconds if you got a clip.
Pulls the kick wide. Looking for De Grande, couldn't complete the mark. Front of the pack, Higgins. Handball released to James. James gets a handball on the bounce to White. White goes back to Goff. Goff tucks it under the arm. Tries to take on the tackler in De Grande. Handball was partially affected, but Peters, time to recover. Bangs it long, but coming up and presenting and marking comfortably is Hutchinson. It was just an errant kick, and South Barwon are just about shot now.
Yeah, they look cooked, don't they?
St Mary's next Sunday, they're going to need every bit of that 6 days, I suspect. Goes looking out wide. The kick of Hutchinson from McComb. It will end up in his hands, but he fired a handball straight to White, who gave it to Peters, who tried to get it back to White. Alderton wrapped him up. Ball spilled out for James. James a handball release over the top. Noble outside of the right boot. Kick's got too much carry on it. Ball out the back. Hutchinson will be first there for St Joseph's. Handball to Webb. Webb all confronted. He was able to get a little block from Hutchinson, have a cheeky bounce, and then set himself to kick to half back nicely to Gow.
That's a great kick. That's a brilliant kick, wasn't it?
Is he the best field kick in the comp?
I'd say yes.
Composure, boys, composure.
He doesn't waste it. His efficiency is extremely high.
Gow goes along with the kick, looking for De Grande. Use the body, Goff, front and centre. No, couldn't take it there, was Antonac. Now the ball spills free. Heinz can't take it. At the back, James can. Tries the 1-2. He gets it back from Driver. Runs across half half back, high towards centre half forward, punched away by Caldo at the back, falls towards Dillon, can't take it. Clohessy over the top of it as well. Antonak got one high. The umpire said yes, he did. So Antonak will take the free kick back end of the centre square. And there is the siren. They continue the Anzac Day.
Epic win,